After winning it all last year, the Katy Tigers are back to defend their title. 2 early season losses began 2008, but quarterback Parker Ray has led the Tigers to a stunning postseason run. In their way, the Wiley Pirates, led by star quarterback Jared Monk and defensive lineman Nikita Whitlock. The Pirates looking to make history and tame the Tigers. A final shot at high school glory is next. The 5A Division II Championship starts right now.
So many high school players in the state of Texas, and all with one goal. That's to be playing football on the final day of the season. Those lucky few, they come from Katy, they come from Wiley, and they all come to Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas, where today we will crown a 5A Division II state champion. Today, it's the Katy Tigers, 12-3, taking on the Wiley Pirates, coming in at 13-2. Hello everyone, Kevin Eschenfelder alongside Shay Walker, and it's all about this. You get to take that one home, and not very many people ever even get a chance to play for it. You grow up here in the state of Texas, and you know it's something that you really, I guess you have to live here to appreciate and play the game. It's really something special.
Well, for these players, it is the pinnacle of what they've always dreamed about as little kids, playing in junior league, junior high, now at the high school level. To have an opportunity to compete for a state championship is what it's all about. And not only for the kids, Kevin, but it also means an awful lot to the communities as well.
Well, one of those communities, Katy, and it seems like it's a rite of passage to be playing for a state championship. Gary Joseph, after a very slow start to the season, the defending state champions, well, they're back here again as no surprise.
Well, and they have just done a fantastic job of coaching up this Katy team. There are no headliners, no Andre Dean, no Bo Levi Mitchell, no Andy Dalton, no James Ashton. I mean, those are the headliners that they've used to have, but here they find themselves back in the state championship game.
You look at the numbers and what they've been able to do throughout the playoffs. It all started with Stratford, then Humboldt, Dickinson, LaPorte, Smithson Valley. 43-9, the average score of their games during the playoffs. So the offense, you know, is clicking. So is the defense. More on the defense in a moment. But Parker Ray, he kind of went with this season. He was inexperienced. He struggled early on. He's gotten better each and every week, and so have the Katy Tigers.
Well, he is the catalyst, really, for this offense, and he is asked to do one thing, execute the offense. Offensive coordinator Pat Dawling was telling us that, hey, he is our guy. He's mature about midseason on, and he's playing his best football in the playoffs.
You talk about the defensive side, again, giving up 9 points per game in the playoffs, and they are led by the free safety, Sam Hall.
Well, Sam Hall is not only is leading that in tackles, Kevin, but as a junior, he's the guy that they look to make plays, to set the tone for that Katy defense, and he's done a fabulous job so far.
Well, Wiley here for the first time since 1978. They're absolutely thrilled with a chance to play for a state championship. They haven't been in the 5A level very long. They've come from a very tough district. Bill Howard's got his team obviously playing very good football. They have battle-tested coming into today's game.
Well, they have been playing at such a high level all year. The 2 losses on Wiley's record are in district play, one to Plano and one to Allen. Allen's going to be playing for the Division I state championship later on today, and that was by a combined 10 points, Kevin. So again, that offense and defense for Wiley has been stellar.
Their win over Hebron came in overtime. They overcame a 15-point deficit in that with Copperas Cove last week in the state semifinals in Waco, and they won that one 23-7. The road too, and a big man who paved that road. And, well, at his size, he may be able to do just that, and that's that guy right there, Jared Monk, their quarterback.
Well, definitely when you say big, you're going to get it all. About 6'3", 235 pounds. He's got excellent feet, a strong arm. He's completed over 60% of his passes, and he averages about 7 yards a carry, so he just about does it all.
All right, so the Wiley Pirates looking for a state championship. The Katy Tigers looking to defend one. It's the 5A Division II state championship game. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Reliant Stadium. The roof open, obviously, and it is a warm afternoon. And who will heat it up enough to win a state championship? It's coming up in just a little while. A tight time now for us to head down to the Wiley sideline. We join and say hello to Layla Rahimi.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach Howard, what has this emotion been like for your team this week? And also, what is it going to take to beat this Katy team this afternoon?
Well, the emotion's great. The atmosphere is great. We had to play 48 minutes of Pirate football. We can't make any stupid mistakes, and we got to survive the first quarter because the adrenaline in a big game, making stupid mistakes early. But we do that. We play Pirate football 48 minutes, we're going to be just fine.
Pirate Amo football ready. And now as we go to the Katy sideline for Patty Smith, she is joined by head coach Gary Joseph. Patty.
All right, thank you, Layla. Yes, the Katy Tigers just took the field. The fans are ready. The players are ready. Coach, what did you tell those kids in there?
Enjoy it, seize the moment, and appreciate what they have and appreciate what they're doing right now because they'll have a lifetime to remember it.
All right, well, good luck today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Kevin, let's send it back up to you.
I'll seize the moment. Can't say it any better than that because you don't realize maybe now that 20 years from now, forever, for the rest of your life, you'll never forget a chance to play for a state championship. And when you win that state championship, win or lose, you'll always be reminded when you go back to your communities, no matter how far away you may get throughout your lifetime. All right, the Wiley Pirates, a third-place finish in 8-5A. Again, those two losses to two very good teams, one of which playing for a state championship later on here on the network, as the Allen team will get a chance to go against Hightower. Well, those are the two losses there. They come in 13-2, lost to Plano 38-31, and then to Allen 31-28. Gary Joseph, you know all about the Katy tradition. 5 state championships, 10 regional championships, 12 district championships. They've won the states last year and then here to defend the title. And plenty of folks making their way here from about 30 miles to the west. A lot making their way in from the Metroplex as they come in from the north. They're here to see the Wiley Pirates and the Katy Tigers. Joey Killian will kick it away for Katy. Menchaca is back deep. Comes to the up man at the 25-yard line and called for the fair catch. So that is where Wiley will get the football. First down at 10. Colby Harper making the fair catch, the starting wide receiver. So Wiley gets it to start. It's a high-powered offense led by that man, 6'5", 240 pounds. He's a senior, Jared Monk. Great leader, making his 27th consecutive start. He does so for a team that is rolling in right now. A very balanced attack, about 52% on the ground, about 48% in the air. The Wiley Pirates with the football. Single setback is Nick Knott. Instead, they want to throw it on first down, and he threw it behind the intended receiver, Justin Thompson, incomplete. It'll bring up a second down at 10. So take a look at those big men up front. 296 pounds is what they average on the offensive line. Smith and Moore on the left side, Finney, Umana, and Bofio on the right side. Bofio comes in here 6'2", 290 pounds. He's a senior. So now second down and 10. Nick Knott and Johnny Jones are both in the game, and they hand the ball off to Knott, and he won't go far. Grant Clifton was there to make that tackle. The outside linebacker, Clifton, making the stop. The guy's been very, very good. He is just a sophomore. So there's those guys up front. Again, 296 pounds is what they average. Nick Knott leads the way. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,400 yards. Logan Lambert, Thompson, Harper, and Cheshire will all catch passes in this offense for the Wiley Pirates.
Well, Kevin, we're talking about the big third down here. The head coach, Bill Howard, wants to make sure that they can convert. Seems like they're able to do so.
Get it to your best player, and that's what they did. Noah Cheshire just made his 22nd catch of the season. Sam Hall was there to knock him down, but not before. Just enough for a Wiley Pirate first down. Take a look at the defense on that starting front three. Weens and Tapong. Narcisse is on the outside. Then the four linebackers, Carbajal, Chandler, Fisher, and Clifton. Griffin and Atwood are the corners. Van Atwood plays strong safety, and Sam Hall is the free safety we spoke about a moment ago. So now first down at 10. They want to throw again out of the gun. Here comes the blitz, and he goes down. Sebi Carbajal coming off that outside linebacker spot, and there's the first big play of the game.
You get a little bit of that weak side pressure as you see Carbajal coming in, and he's untouched, Kevin. And that's a big deal if you think about it, because this Wiley Pirate team has not let the quarterback get sacked. He's only been sacked 6 times this season. You see Carbajal coming up with the big sack on that first down play to push Wiley back to second now at about almost 17, 18 yards.
You've got Jared Monk back there to take this snap, but they will direct snap it. Instead, this time they do give it to Monk, and Monk is drug out of bounds at the 39-yard line, but they will direct snap it to Cheshire. Again, Grant Clifton was there to make that tackle. Got back just inside the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
Not a bad play by Wiley to pick up about 8 yards on that second down. And really, if you think about it, Jared Monk running around that right side there, he gets drugged down by Clifton, but he runs through 2 tackles, and he's just so big, can't get your arms around.
Call it 3rd down and 11. Opening drive of the ball game. Throws this one over the middle. Caught short of the first down. It'll be out to the 44-yard line as Jonathan Fisher was there to make the stop. Going to be Colby Harper on the reception. And a 4th down coming up.
Well, a nice defensive stand by this Katy defense. Greg Miller, the coordinator, coming in with the sack. Of course, you still got Jared Monk back there. And looking like they might go for it.
Monk will punt.
Quick kick it as well. He's a multifaceted athlete.
They do punt it. He booms this one. This one may make the end zone. Or it may do just that. It did get into the end zone, but it wasn't without a spectacular effort. A 56-yard punt. And, Chad Cole was down there for the Wiley Pirates and almost was able to down it at the 1-yard line. You see just how very close Cole was. Missed it by half a football. So, Katy will get the football. Their first possession of the game. You see the numbers on Parker Ray. He was the backup to Bo Levi Mitchell last year, but missed 4 games. He didn't even get any playing time at all in those games, and he also missed spring training. So he's got limited experience coming into this season, but he's gotten better each and every week. And again, a big reason why Katy is being able to do what they're doing right now in the playoffs. Handing it off, and then just over the right side, not a whole lot there. Michael Weber on the carry, and Toby Ball. Keep an eye on Toby Ball. He is an outstanding player at that linebacker spot. But first, let's set the offense. Travis and Summerall on the left side, to Gelder in the middle, Poteet and Klink on the right side. That's that starting offensive line. They're a very tall offensive line. Starting racks and receivers. Weber, a 1,000-yard rusher. Robertson, the blue-collar guy. And then you got Glover, Hirschfelder, and Callender is the tight end. A 2nd down, call it 6. Weber again. Boy, they just absolutely no place to go. And the big reason for that was Nikita Whitlock. Number 8 is an outstanding player. The 2-time district defensive MVP. And he's got Drake and Pittman alongside him on that 3-4 front. Sauceda and Carter will split time at the outside. But James Carter called him for the start. Toby Ball, Ezekiel and Mathers are the linebackers. Jordan and Smith, the corners. Lowe and Menchaca are the safeties. So he lost a couple there. 3rd down and 10. It's going to be 3rd down and 15 because Zach Swanson moved early. The tight end lined up to the near side.
False start. Offense, 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Well, that's a little uncharacteristic of what you would expect for one of these Katy teams. Extremely well disciplined. And to give up 5 yards here, it's not so much the 5 yards as it is field position now, pushing the 3rd and 15, but they're scrimmaging from their 15-yard line. So if Wiley's able to put a stop here, they should have decent field position.
James Gilbert, our referee, making that call. Parker Ray out of the gun. Good protection. Throws. Caught. 1st down. Taylor Brandt, his 29th catch of the season. The 200-pound senior got that ball and brought it back. Alan Menchaca was there to stop, but on a 3rd down and 15, they get 16.
Well, you're going to see the receiver here on the outside as he comes down. He's going to get to the yardage, and he's going to pull it, and then quarterback Parker Ray is going to get out wide enough and then put enough heat on the fastball so the receiver can come in and make the catch. That's just brilliant execution, and boy, you talk about needing a conversion. 3rd and 15, Parker Ray coming up big.
Michael Weber deep in the backfield. They fake it. Play action. They throw it complete to the 40-yard line. And it was Chris Robertson, his 15th catch of the season, coming out of that backfield, the fullback, making the reception, and Corey Smith there to make the stop, but not before a gain of, call it, 9 yards. So it'll be a 2nd down and 1 coming up. And, that was one of the keys. Point blank, and I quote, "We want to get Katy in 2nd and long." Look where they are right now, 2nd down and 1.
Well, that's a nice job of Chris Robertson as he released out. Kevin, he never drifted on his depth, and a lot of times when you're running out there and you've got all that open ground around you, you have a tendency to drift, but he kept that discipline where he stayed underneath the deep receiver, and he was able to come up with the catch and pick it up 9 yards on 1st down. That's what you say, staying on schedule.
Weber, he got close to the 1st down. He only needed about 1.5 yards. Well, he ran right into Toby Ball and Alan Menchaca. He was headed south and then north in a hurry.
Those are two guys that can flat put a hat on. You talk about
kidding.
Toby Ball, he's the 9'5" defensive newcomer of the year last season. 6 foot, 200 pounds. And then Menchaca is one of those guys that's returning in that secondary for Wiley. And even though they pick up the 1st down, it was a hard-earned yard.
That didn't get much, but got enough. Oh, granted, not much of a sample. We only played about midway through this 1st quarter of play, but it looks like the defenses have come to play in this one. Stop play. And Katy wants a timeout. That was a different look for Katy. They were going 4 wide, and that's something that Gary Joseph doesn't normally do. You don't see a whole lot of that from them. They went 4 wide with a single setback. So a timeout on the field, 2nd possession of the game. Wiley had the ball. Now Katy's got it, and we're scoreless. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to play. 1st quarter in Houston. The Texas 5A championship game between Katy and Wiley is brought to you by Dairy Queen. That's what I like about Texas. By State Farm, proud sponsor of the UIL Championship Series. By Dodge, grab life by the horns. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And Academy, the right stuff at a low price. First down at 10 from the 41-yard line. Kevin Eschenfelder alongside Shane Walker. Look at this. William Jeffrey, and Jeffrey 1 man away from taking it to the house, knocked down at the 15-yard line. A 40-yard run. And the big play, the first big play of the day, comes to Katy.
Well, the deep handoff back to Jeffries, but take a stop if you can right there, guys. But, well, going back on it, you see that there was so much space, and William Jeffries, not a very big guy, only a junior, 145 pounds, but, man, does he have the jets. Take another look at it, Kevin. It's just outstanding blocking at the point of attack. William Jeffries doing a nice job switching that ball back over to the right hand and hitting the sideline.
Remember what Gary Joseph told us this week? He said we have a very uncharacteristically for Katy tall offensive line. He stands only about 5'8", and he gets lost behind the offensive lineman, and that's one of his big attributes. And the fact is you saw it right there on his first carry of the game, and that's Bryce Chandler, again the tight end, moving early. Last time it was Swanson. This time it's Chandler.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Kevin, too, you go back to that play for Katy, that handoff, that was the deep handoff, as you saw, like, as you used to see the old I formation, if you will, where the quarterback takes it back 6 or 7 yards and then puts it into the runner.
Let him make some decisions.
Yes, absolutely. When you've got a guy as explosive as Jeffrey, and you can get those big linemen to just shield some guys and create some lanes, he's going to explode.
William Jeffrey dots the I. They fake it to him. Throw downfield. It's caught at the 10, at the 5, and down at the 3-yard line. Once again, it's Taylor Brandt. His second big catch of the day. That one goes for 20 yards, and Katy's in great shape inside the Wiley 5.
Well, Taylor Brandt sees man coverage. Daniel Jordan on him. Hey, hang on, guys. We'll see if we can't get a little look here, but he's just going to run the quick out route. You see him as he pushes off, then he breaks it out to the outside. Defender has to respect the deep route move to keap him out of the end zone. Brandt cuts it off, and Parker Ray is spot on with the pass.
Daniel Jordan saved the touchdown. Now first down, goal to go. Jeffrey stays at the tailback. Handing it to him. Get at the line of scrimmage. And then Chaka, he got there first. Getting up off the bottom of the pile was A.J. Jordan. So now second down and goal, and he may have lost a half a yard.
Kevin, that looked like one of those plays where the Wiley defenders, it didn't look like they were going to be able to keep Katy out of the end zone, but then all of a sudden you get 3 black shirts that end up around the ankles of the running back. See, it looks like there's a little bit of a crease there, but then you see the guys start flying in, and Chaka there. A.J. Jordan did as well.
Second goal from the 4. Looking for Robertson, and he overthrew him.
Oh, good coverage there.
Well, Toby Ball was the man, and I'm not sure if that wasn't a blown route, because Toby Ball was the defender, and both Bryce Callender and Chris Robertson were right there next to one another.
But remember when I said earlier in this drive, Robertson, he did not drift down and get into the other receiver's lane. Well, this time he drifted down a little bit too far, and that's what put the 2 Katy receivers right on top of each other, and Ray really, he threw the ball about the only place that the receiver could go and get it, so just a little bit high and outside, but the defense was perfect there by Wiley.
Third and goal. Bootleg. Throws it into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Swanson was that far away, but now it's 4th down and goal, and James Carter had the coverage, and it's field goal time for Katy.
And Chaka comes up from that safety position, Kevin. He didn't bite on the bootleg, and he forced Parker Ray to kind of retreat, give some ground. Watch as Ray rolls out. He's going to get back out to the right, but Menchaca, as he fights off the block, he forces Ray to kind of bounce it back outside and throw off the back foot. Not able to make the connection.
Raul Balbuena comes in for what amounts to be a little more than an extra point. Nails it home, so the Katy Tigers get on the board first. They take that opening drive, 10 plays, good defensive stand at the end for Wiley. They hold them to 3, but the Tigers lead 3-0. Back in a moment. Now Katy scores on its first possession, leads 3-0 this January. Fox once again brings you the greatest week in college football, beginning New Year's Day with the FedEx Orange Bowl, the AT&T Cotton Bowl, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and finally the FedEx BCS National Championship game. It's the FedEx Bowl Bash right here on Fox beginning January 1st in high definition. So a lot of positives can be pulled from both of the teams on that last drive. Of course, Katy got points, and they were able to move the football. Wiley faced a first down and goal from inside the 5, and they were able to hold Katy to just a field goal.
Well, and you think about what Katy did, Kevin, on their first 3rd and 15, they converted it on a little play-action pass, and they were able to continue that drive. Very impressive.
Well, we'll run back to Justin Thompson, who runs it right up the middle as we head down on the field to Layla Rahimi.
I'm joined by Rita Howard. She is the Vice President of the Houston Area Agents of State Farm here in the Houston area. Rita is part of State Farm's organization that sponsors one of the largest interscholastic organizations in the country. Why does State Farm take such an interest in the UIL?
Well, when you think about what UIL stands for, they work with student athletes and help them to develop life skills, skills that they will use throughout their lifetime, like team spirit, collaboration, discipline. And when I think about my brothers, when they were in high school, they studied so they could play sports. We want to make the community a great place to live, and we sponsor UIL because of good sportsmanship. We have a lot in common with the UIL, so it aligns with what we want to stand for in the community.
And what else does State Farm do to partner with the UIL besides, obviously, the high school football scene?
Well, we also sponsor professional sports in the area. We sponsor our agents are very involved with the grassroots efforts to make the community a better place to live. I did want to mention about the $50,000 in scholarships. that State Farm helps the parents with, because we know college is very, very expensive, and obviously that's an important piece for the whole community. We're very impressed with the positive impact these students have on the communities.
State Farm, a year-long sponsor with high school football here on Fox Sports Net. Kevin, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. A big run there by Jared Monk, and then a big hit by Sam Hall. 27-yard run, and that is something that you will see. Monk is a kid now. He had a 69-yard run last week in the state semifinal game against Copperas Cove. He can pick him up and put him down. He's 6'5" and 250, 240 pounds, but he can still run. Straight drop to throw here. Throws it, and it is complete. Found the open man, and then once again, it was Colby Harper. His 81st catch of the year. Sam Hall had the coverage and makes the tackle, but it's not before another first down.
But you talk about Jared Monk, Kevin, and what he does running the football, but take a look at him here throwing it there. Gets out, he gets the receiver, locates him early, and he's able to do that because of his height. As you said, 6'5", he's looking over those defensive linemen. Doesn't have to worry about kind of reading in between that intermediate level. And you got a guy like Colby Harper just yeoman-like work him out. As you said, it was his 81st reception this season.
Two-back set. Shuttle pass on the inside to Nick Knott. Knott takes it ahead. That's going to be a nice gain of about 5 yards as Jonathan Fisher was there to make the stop.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Shannon Purcell coming up with a little bit of misdirection. It looked like Monk was going to go off to the left. He had a pitch man working with him, but instead he hits it back into the middle on the shovel pass to Knott. Knott picks up positive yards on first down. Got the Katy defense a little bit on their heels right now.
Play action. Guns it to Thompson. It's incomplete. Just behind Justin Thompson, and there was coverage there from Zach Griffin as well. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 to go for the first down.
But Jared Monk, now that's the second time we have seen him throw that crossing route. Opened the game with it on the same angle, same everything, and he's just a hair behind the receiver, so he's not picking up or trying to get that receiver to shut it down. Hard to tell which one it is right now, but he's been behind. He's made throws behind the receivers on those 2 routes.
3rd down and 5. 4 wide receivers set. Monk, here comes the pressure again. Throws it into the end zone, and it's going to be a jump ball and out of bounds. Sam Hall had the coverage, and a 4th down is coming up here. And now let's see what Wiley decides to do here at the 21-yard line. I think he was trying to throw that football away, but instead it was a lot closer than he had expected. So, Zach Ohanesian comes in looking to kick the field goal. This one will be a 38-yard attempt. He made 3 last week. Missed a couple as well. And it's no good. That play was destined for disaster from the beginning. It was a bad snap. Ohanesian just really never got his foot into it.
That just caught it a little low, and you see that rotation. But put it back on this play. Take a look right here. We're going to hold it if we can, guys. This is here on the field goal. Good pressure coming back out of the outside. Katy defenders coming off the edge, putting the pressure on. But, Kevin, it's just one of those balls where you hit it a little too low. Too many rotations on it to get it over the crossbar.
You see it was almost an arcing snap that started the play. And he got through the timing of the play off from the very beginning. So this time Michael Weber comes into the tailback, and Weber looking to pick a hole, and that hole closed in a hurry. But they give him forward progress out to about the 23-yard line. A.J. Jordan, a big reason why that hole closed in a hurry. You talked about these Katy teams, and they have had some outstanding players over the years. This was a Katy team that came in this year, lost its first 2 games, and it really wasn't even close. That man right there had to make some adjustments. Defending state champions, you just don't get blown out in the first 2 games, but that was the case this year for this club. They made some changes, and they changed a little attitude with the team. That they're not a star-studded team, and some of the teams that they've had in the past have had a big-time player here, a big-time player there. It's as if they just have a lot of very, very good players in just about every position that know what to do. Here comes the pressure, and Marco Sauceda comes in and provides the sack. He and Toby Ball. Toby Ball, the son of the athletic director at Wiley. And Sauceda, the outside linebacker, James Carter, was the starter, and he had an injury, and now Sauceda, he got to start last week, played very well, and is doing it again today. Ball started it.
Well, you see, he just never took his eyes off of Parker Ray. He didn't bite on the play-action pass. He saw the motion and everything going back to the left, but he stayed at home, and he runs right, and the angle that he takes to the quarterback is absolutely perfect.
3rd down and 2 here from deep in your own territory. Throw this one, safe route, but it's incomplete. And there's a penalty marker. This is going to be on Taylor Brandt. That's going to be a half the distance to the goal. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Watch this after the play. You know, it works both ways.
Well, he was trying to get outside of the cornerback, and he was able to get outside, but he got pushed out to safety coming over the top.
Gets the offense.
That's a good call.
It is.
Half a distance to the goal.
Got to keep your emotions in check right now.
If it was a defender doing that, it would be a no-brainer. Menchaca is the man who got hit. Menchaca's going to go back and look at that film and say, I was off balance.
Hey, I was pulling up. I was pulling up on him.
It was a
which
slip.
He was.
Anyway, he's right.
But he'll take that penalty, and as you see, the punt returner for his Wiley team now standing inside the 50-yard line.
That's Daniel Jordan back deep. Davey Hurtado kicked from inside his own end zone.
Deep in the end zone.
Yep. Well, you talked about the field, just the field advantage game and how it can change it. Right now, Wiley's going to have the football inside Katy territory in very good field position. Hurtado hits this one downfield. 35, good coverage. Can't cover it any better than that. Grant Clifton was one of the men down there. A 35-yard punt, 7-yard return. But Wiley set up in good shape right now. So Monk will bring his team back out on the field.
You know, Kevin, this is one of those age-old things that you say something's got to give, because this Wiley team comes in averaging 450 yards, 415 yards per game offensively. Katy only allowing 246, and as you mentioned earlier, the balance between Wiley is almost 50-50.
Yeah, 52-48 in favor of the rush. Now they set up the bubble screen on the outside, got a couple of blocks in front. I'm telling you, both of these teams are playing some defense right now. Sam Hall shot through there like a torpedo.
Man, that looked like that play had some promise. Looked like there were some openings there. And again, Sam Hall, not a big guy. Junior, 170-pounder, but boy, he comes through, and they talk about making a sure tackle. Nice job.
3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7 as we count down the final play here in this first quarter. You see the ammo on the yoke of the jersey. I'm not going to even try to explain it. I'm going to let Bill Howard explain it a little bit later on. That one is complete. Get away. They lost yardage in the process. Colby Harper went down. Great tackle by Zach Griffin. Reversed the field, and that was not a good choice. And that will be the end of the first quarter of play. So the defenses, for the most part, having their way here in this first quarter. Katy with one big drive led to 3 points. It's the end of the first. Katy, a quarter of the way there. They lead Wiley 3-0.
State Farm salutes hardworking Texas moms with new Texas Young Driver discounts. Up to 40% in discounts on auto coverage for your young driver. Call a local State Farm agent 24/7 to find out more.
The gifts start here at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Every driver will love the TomTom One 130 Auto GPS, and you'll love the price. $149.99 at Academy.
No right gift, low price. Academy.
The gifts start here at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Every hunter will appreciate this Wild Game 2.0 game camera 2-pack. Get it for just $79.99 at Academy.
Low life gives the low price. Academy.
Katy Tigers leading at 3-0 as we get ready to go here. The start of the second quarter. We welcome you back to Reliance Stadium here in Houston. 5A Division II champion will be crowned today. Katy, the defending champs, going against the Wiley Pirates from the Metroplex. Let's go down on the field to Patty Smith.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Well, I am down here on the Katy sidelines with 4 of the guys from last year's state championship team. And I'm going to start down here with Andre Dean, who's now out at UCLA. First of all, how cool is it for you guys all to be back here together watching Katy do this for the second time in a row?
Oh, man, it's amazing. I mean, towards the beginning, I don't know who would have really thought they'd be back in this position. But, I mean, when you got a coach like Coach Joseph and the great staff that they have behind them, and these kids, they work so hard, and you can look in the stands and see the support, man. It's just a wonderful place to be, and it's going to always be like that. I really believe that.
And tell everybody where you are now and what you're doing.
I'm at UCLA. You know, say it was a rough year, but we're definitely coming up. It was a humbling year for me, but next year I got to think I'm going to be playing a big part in the offense. And, you know, I mean, it was humbling, but I needed it, and I'm going to be ready next year for sure.
Yeah, well, how come you gave up your red hat? What are you doing with the blue hat on already?
Oh, my goodness. You know, I got Katy. Football is everything. It's in me forever. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here. So I'm happy to be here with my teammates and seeing my coach, and I hope they pull it out tonight.
All right, and Brad, of course, you're a linebacker on that team. Brad Graham, now at Navarro. Talk a little bit about this defense and kind of how they're stepping up today.
I think we gave them a good ground last year, you know, having a good defense last year. So they're just carrying on the tradition of just having great defense at Katy. That's what they're known for.
All right, over here on my right, 2 guys, both of them at Texas A&M, and that's Trent Hunter and Terrence Frederick, for safety and DB. We got the secondary representing here. Guys, how fun is this for you to come back and root on your Katy Tigers?
It's a good time. I like coming back, you know, seeing all the people that used to support us last year, and then being able to see some of the guys we played with last year, and, you know, they're in that same position we were, and they have a good chance of winning. So it's good to come back, and especially going to be on the sidelines and hear everything they get to say. And everything that we said last year, it's a good time. It's a good feeling.
All right, it's about time you guys take some of your talents and do something up there at A&M, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the coaches here taught us a lot. We carried it up to A&M with us, and it's doing good so far. So hopefully we keep doing that and make it to the next level.
All right, thanks. Good job, guys. Kevin, let's send it back up to you.
All right, 4th and a foot. I'm not sure. Should have gotten there. Well, that is tough. That's one thing about you can't teach 6'5", 240. And when we said 240, he said at least 240.
But you talked about earlier, Kevin, the big guys up front, and Paul Finney, 6'3", 290, the senior. Then Alvaro Umana, 6'3", 340. They call him SS Umana, 63. You see Elva Tapong trying to get low, which is what you want to do, but there's just so much beef, and underneath the pads, it's going to be close, but it looks like he's going to have the first down.
That's first down.
And how about Bill Howard here, early in the ball game, going on 4th down?
Well, it was 4th and a foot, and I can see where you're saying, with that offensive line, with that quarterback as big as he is, you got to roll the dice on that one. I'm not sure how big of a gamble it was. So first down and 10. Nick Knott, the single setback. They hand it to Knott. Breaks the tackle down to the 10-yard line. Knott, who ran for over 1,400 yards this season and averaged 8 yards a carry. The seniors got Wiley in great shape, just outside the 10.
But Caleb Chandler saves the touchdown here, Kevin. As Knott breaks that first tackle, if Chandler doesn't get him right there, Knott waltzes into the end zone.
They're going to call it right at the 10-yard line. So it'll be first down, goal to go. Knott again trying the right side, not going to have anything to do with it. Sam Hall was the first guy there, and Jonathan Fisher, the inside linebacker on that left side, he was there as well.
Just that pursuit by Katy, and you talk about the penetration, you talk about speed over size, and you're going to see these white jerseys filling up the backfield. You see there against Sam Hall finishing up, but Jonathan Fisher coming in and making sure he kept that leverage point, and he wasn't going to allow Nick Knott to bounce it outside of him, and Hall comes in to finish it up, but that was an outstanding defensive play by Katy.
Lost 2 to the 12, so second and goal from the 12. On the slant, inside the 5-yard line till the 4s. The open man, Colby Harper, made the catch right in front of Colt Atwood. So it's a third down coming up.
Well, second reception of the game for Colby Harper. And he has been the favorite receiver. See, he does a nice job, Kevin, right there, because he goes up, he knows he's going to take a shot, cradles the ball in that right arm, and is able to hang on to it.
Caleb Chandler just missed putting a fingertip on that ball as well. Third down goal to go from the 4. That's going to be third and goal from the 9 now, as there was some movement on the interior line. It's actually on that right side. Boyfio, I think, may have moved.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, still third down.
That is crushing.
That changes the play calling a whole lot, because you were thinking, again, with the size that you have up front.
Watch Boyfio on the right.
Yep, he's going to get a little bit of a hop there. A little uncharacteristic. Again, we're seeing a couple of these offside penalties, Kevin. It's not coming from the wide receivers. It's the guys in the interior for both Katy and for Wiley. I think nerves are playing a little bit in this ball game.
Great drop to throw out of the gun. Monk, good speed, showing it, throws, intercepted. Caleb Chandler bringing it back. And to the 46-yard line.
Well, Kevin, Caleb Chandler is the linebacker, outside linebacker, comes into the game with 4 interceptions already, and you see he just mirrors as he goes across. He just mirrors Jared Monk, and he's able to, and how about the hands? See him stick him up there and make that catch, and then also the run after catch.
Nick Knott finally made the tackle, but not before a 25-yard return.
Well,
now they're going to bring it back to the 30-yard line. So,
and talk about proficiency of Jared Monk.
He stepped out of bounds right there.
Yep, but he's only thrown 4 interceptions coming into today's game. And Caleb Chandler just read his eyes perfectly, stepped in front of Cheshire, the receiver, came up with a huge turnover for the Katy Tigers.
Both of these defenses have stiffened once they've gotten close to the goal line. This time the takeaway comes. Jeffrey on that left side. Jeffrey again just kind of hiding behind those big offensive linemen. But when he was exposed, he said hello to Nikita Whitlock in a big way.
Nikita Whitlock gets to you with a bad attitude, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and gets there in a hurry. There you see Parker Ray. Guy that's really come on and matured in the playoffs. Missed 4 games last year. Missed the spring. Lack of experience probably hurt him to start the season, but again, every week he's gotten better. Every week, so have the Katy Tigers. Here comes some pressure. And he'll take it out to the 35-yard line. Parker Ray, 165-pound senior. John Pittman was there to provide that pressure for Wiley. And he's out to the 35, so it's going to be a third down coming up. Take a picture, lady. It lasts longer. There's a lot of memories here. A lot have been made today, and they'll be made today, and we'll never forget what goes on here at Reliance Stadium here in 2008. Walking up front is there, and then he ran away from it. Once again, Izikor was the first guy there, and Tyler Mathers also there to make that stop. So now it's 4th down and time for Katy to punt.
And that was a little bit of a curious call. You see Parker Ray, Kevin, as he took the snap. He wasn't looking downfield. He just kind of immediately starts running to the right. Make me thinking that he was going to get a seam or a space there, but that's clearly a run the whole way, and the defense for Wiley was right there.
It's a very good tackling team. You saw Corey Smith at the end of that play. For the second time today, Davey Hurtado will come into punt. Led the district in punting. Daniel Jordan is back deep. He had a 64-yard punt return earlier this season, earlier in the playoffs. And calls for the fair catch and makes it. Good punt. Back to the 22-yard line. So that is a flip-flop on the field position. A 44-yard punt. Wiley will get it back. They had their chance, but it was the defense that stepped up big. Katy leads 3-0. The opportunities have been there for Wiley. They just haven't been able to cash in.
Well, they had a little mishit there on the field goal attempt after a nice drive. Jared Monk leading with the legs first and then the arms. They're coming back and just having that pick right there by Caleb Chandler was huge. And that was a third down. And keep in mind, Kevin, it was third and they were inside the 5. The offsides penalty puts them back. And then Elvin Tapong gets good pressure up the middle, forces Jared Monk out. He throws the pick and this kind of went downhill from there for Wiley. But again, they have an opportunity here and somewhat had a little bit of rhythm going. They need to try to see if they can't recapture that.
Well, let's see. It'll start with Jared Monk taking the snap from the shotgun. Find that right side, man.
Sam Hall, how you doing?
Unbelievable. What a player. He's 170 pounds. He's just a junior at free safety, the leading tackler. He started last year as a sophomore, so he's been around. He's done that, and he does it a lot. Look at this.
And he's doing it out of the safety position. You'll see how he comes up straight from the top, but he just absolutely. And Kevin, when he gets there, again, as you're talking about, not overly big in size, but my goodness, is he a sure tackler in the open field.
Straight drop to throw, going over the middle, incomplete and almost intercepted. It was just off the fingertips of Colby Harper. Let's get an offensive update on Wiley as we go to Layla Rahimi.
Before this series started, Wiley offensive coaches were talking to the offensive line saying, you guys concentrate. You can do this. No more of this goal line offsides talk or false start talk. And he said, if you guys want to win this game, it is up to you. And after that, you saw offensive linemen talking to each other. Zach Robinson says to Michael Boyfield, we can get this done. Let's do it.
Well, they'll try to do it here on 3rd down and 11 from the 20-yard line. Again, straight drop, looking to throw. He'll tuck it under and run, and he won't run far. Elvin Tapong came through there, the guy that absolutely controls the line of scrimmage, and Elvin Tapong stepping through. Here in these parts, there was another interior lineman named Elvin, and he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Elvin Bethea played right across the parking lot at the Astrodome.
Tapong is probably one of the few Katy defenders who's going to be able to bring Jared Monk down one-on-one.
You're right. And at 6'5", 250, a big man. Punt this one away. They just get away from it. Even in a situation like that, 4th and 11, you still got their eyes open. You got a quarterback back there punting. A lot of different things. You have a lot of options. It was not a good punt. Only a 30-yard punt, so now Katy trying to take advantage of the field possession game. We'll take a break. Time out on the field. 5:47 to go. Katy on top. Well, the Texas 5A championship game between Katy and Wiley is brought to you by Dairy Queen. That's what I like about Texas. By State Farm, proud sponsor of the UIL Championship Series. By Dodge, grab life. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Academy, the right stuff for low price. Good field position for Katy, and a happy holidays to you. Kevin Eschenfelder, Shea Walker up top. Patty Smith, Layla Rahimi downstairs. 5A Division II championship game. Katy with the football. And this is Jeffrey trying that left side, and Jeffrey breaking it outside. Menchaca's able to knock him off his pins, but not before a gain of right at 9 yards. Close to a first down.
Going back to that deep handoff again, Kevin, to Jeffrey, as you see Parker Ray, again, he's going back 6-7 yards, and he's handing to him in a little bit of a misdirection, but Jeffrey's got enough elusiveness and speed about him where he gets to the corner. As you saw earlier in the first quarter, he made that long run, but he can get to the corner pretty quick. And I think the further you give him the ball back in the backfield, the more decisions he's able to make.
It was more like a gain of 7, so 2nd down and 3. Again, straight drop to throw, going up over the middle, and that's incomplete. Taylor Brandt was the intended receiver. Good coverage on the play by Daniel Jordan, the cornerback, who was there step for step.
Well, Daniel Jordan is one of those guys that you do not mind leaving on an island if you're defensive coordinator Joe Lepis, because Jordan comes into the game with 15 career interceptions, 7 last year, 8 this year. I mean, a guy that you just don't want to throw his way.
But now it's a 3rd down. Parker Ray trying to complete his first pass in a while, or see if they run the football here. He's missed on his last 4 throws. Roll the pocket, throw, complete. 1st down. They got to Robertson coming out of the backfield, and he's inside the 40. Zach Lowe was there to make the stop, but not before he got just enough for the 1st.
Well, that play has worked extremely well for Katy so far in this ballgame. You see the little play-action pass. It puts Parker Ray on the run, and Robertson gets out there in the flat, Kevin, and you can see as Ray is looking at him, you see he comes around, he comes out and he gets into his flat area. But look at the way that Ray's got his eyes just locked on him, and he throws the numbers right between the 4s, able to make the catch and pick up the 1st down.
Needed 3, got 4, down to the 40. Here's Jeffrey on the left side. Good heavens. There were a lot of people in there. I'm guessing number 8's going to get up off the bottom of the pile, and he does. Nikita Whitlock. Again, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the district. 400 pounds on the bench. He's a weight room guy. And, you know, the coaching staff talking about him, saying there's one thing that separates him from everybody else. Granted, he's extremely talented. Yep. He's got a motor like nobody else I've ever coached. And also, you know, you talk with his coaching staff, and Bill Howard says he's the best defensive player I've ever coached. And he goes, by far. It's not even close. Throws this one, and it's incomplete. Boy, had an open man, too.
Well, he did have an open man, but who's breathing down his back, getting ready to lay a hit on him, looked like that was Whitlock again.
Hirschfelder, the intended receiver. He could change. You know, you talk about a great defender, and a great defender can be defined by a guy who changes the way the offense approaches their game plan.
You haven't checked that as Marco Sauceda coming up and putting the hit on Parker Ray, which did not allow him an opportunity to get those feet planted and throw the ball like he wanted to, because he had an open receiver.
Don't think for a second that those linebackers don't love the fact that Nikita Whitlock is dealing with double and triple teams as well. Sauceda, Toby Ball, those guys back there. 3rd down, 11 to go for the 1st. And that one's incomplete, almost intercepted, and one that Taylor Brandt should have caught. Tyler Mathers may have gotten a hand in there, but Brandt had that one hit him right in the hands, and he couldn't hold on.
Well, the 3 defenders, the Pirate defenders around him, and you see, but take a look at who pushes the pressure. It's Whitlock again who goes through 2 blockers. But the throw right there just may have been tipped, but Brandt has a chance to catch it, but he stops it, not able to pull it all the way in.
I'm going to take that back. When I say one he should have caught, that was much more difficult than I thought, because Izzy Okor got a finger on the ball. You never know how it changes the pace.
And flying right by the face of the defender or the receiver as well. Oh, what a punt.
See where this one lands. It'll bound into the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Nice hang time on that.
You bet. 40-yard punt for Hurtado. Carbajal was down there on the coverage, but nothing he could do about it for Gary Joseph's team, so it comes out to the 20-yard line as Katy leads this one 3-0.
Okay, I think this is a pretty critical point for Wiley in the ball game. They're only trailing by 3. Their defense has obviously kept them in this ball game. They're going against an extremely fast, aggressive, and disciplined defense as well, so they're not having the big plays that they're accustomed to hitting, but they have had success in moving the football. They've just not been able to find any rhythm so far in this ball game, and you think right now you have a sense that that Wiley offense needs to keep their defense off the field.
Passing formation here, and they do pass it, and it's incomplete. Again, it's the little things like that, as Logan Lambert was unable to hold on, and that's short distance to be catching a ball that's thrown pretty hard. And plus, he's turning his head and his eyes looking upfield to see who's coming at him.
Yeah, Logan Lambert will tell you that's one he should have caught. Comes into the game with 45 receptions, 4.5 40 guy.
That size saying it all as far as what's been going on with his offense here in this game. It's 4:06 to play here in this first half. Haven't gotten on the board yet. It's 3-0 Katy, and they're not going to get on the board there. In fact, they won't get back to the line of scrimmage again. Elvin Tapong.
You have to love what Elvin Tapong is doing, Kevin, because he is just absolutely selling out. He's getting underneath this big, I'm talking about big, massive offensive line by Wiley. He's getting the pad level down below them, and he's able to fight through. He keeps his head up enough to where he can go in and make the tackle. That's outstanding effort.
7th third down situation that Wiley has faced today. They've only converted once. And they've still only converted once.
Guys not on the same page, receivers and quarterbacks. You can see the throw was at the yard marker, and the receivers were running beyond the yard marker.
Well, Katy's going to get another chance here with some pretty good field position.
The Wiley defense is going to need to stiffen up here.
That's certainly something they've been able to do all day long. Hirschfelder goes back deep, on with Colt Atwood. And Monk will punt it away. This is Hirschfelder from the 40. Good coverage, just shy of midfield. And that is where Katy will get the football. Coming up on our DQ halftime report, Rick Renner joined in our FS Southwest studios by Cedar Hill head coach Joey McGuire. And Neil Beasley is on our Fox Sports Southwest set. Our recruiting analyst Randy Rogers coming up the Dairy Queen halftime report in just a little while with Neil and Randy as we head down onto the field to Patty Smith.
All right, well, thank you so much. We talked a lot about the tradition of Katy High School, and we watched Sevi Carbajal get a really nice sack in the first quarter. Well, this is his dad, Carlos Carbajal, and talk about tradition. You tell us your affiliation with the Katy Tigers.
Oh, the tradition goes way back. I mean, it's the community, it's the parents, it's the teachers that makes this school great. It's a tradition that just goes way back to 1959, and it continues on.
And what he's not telling you is he played for Gary Joseph back in the 80s. So 27 years Gary Joseph has been here, and what's that like for you to know you played for this coach, and now here your son is out there doing the same thing?
Oh, it's a great feeling. It's a wonderful feeling for my son to come here and play, and I just can't ask for anything more. I mean, look at the fans. It's exciting. I mean, it was exciting for me to play here, and I wanted my son to experience the same feelings I did. So it's great. I mean, look at them. They're wonderful.
What's more nerve-wracking, being out there on the field or watching your son out there?
Oh, my gosh. It's, I can't say enough. I mean, it's like I said, my son's having a blast out there. And, I've talked to him about it, and I talked to him about the fans. And, for him to go out there and play in the same uniform, same numbers I played, I mean, it's a great feeling for me and him. So it's a family tradition.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And Kevin, Zach's dad, what's Zach's last name?
Zach Griffin.
Zach Griffin's dad, Charles, also played on that same team back then, too.
I wonder, Zach wore number 21. Zach's dad wore number 21. Flag is down on that play. A nice run by William Jeffrey just a moment ago.
You bet.
I'm glad when Carlos Carbajal got done with that number 37, they didn't retire it so Sevi could wear it.
Think about this. You know that the dad, having played for Gary Joseph at Katy, he doesn't have to worry about keeping Sevi in line. He knows when he goes home, he knows what the expectations are. They're already set. So kind of a comfort level there, if you will, for Coach Joseph.
Well, right now, Katy's offense, with the exception of that last play and the holding penalty, looking very comfortable as well. Really starting to move the football.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Well, we've seen William Jeffrey break a couple of long runs.
Well, the draw play on that in the hold up front, maybe that's why he was able to break it outside so well. Take a look at it one more time. There's your hold right there, and it clearly was a part of the play. It was right in the middle of it. And the reason he was able to break it outside, and that's why you get the 10-yard penalty. But now it's first down and 20. Jeffrey trying the left side, but Jeffrey ran into a big man. Golly, Nikita Whitlock. You know, rarely do you see a guy, you have to look at it on film, be a coach, to be an expert, to see an interior lineman dominate a game. You can be sitting up in the upper deck and you can watch Nikita Whitlock dominate a game. There's a flag down on the play.
It's a late flag too, Kevin, and Whitlock had already made the stop.
I think you're getting a personal foul. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna go
no. Yeah, there you go. Double clutch. I don't know. You never know what was said at the bottom of the pile. There you see Whitlock.
And you got Whitlock here, and just watch the way that he comes up, and he's just going to blow this play up. Takes on two blockers. You see that spin off that, and you just do not expect a guy to be able to do that, and he just puts the big bear hug on William Jeffrey and is able to bring him down.
Well, you saw he went after Zach Swanson first, put a hit on him, then went back and got the ball carrier.
Yeah, find the one with the ball. But he does it at the line of scrimmage, which is all the more impressive.
You know, they've made the call.
Well, Bill Howard out on the field. He definitely, because the flag was so late coming in.
Dead ball, personal foul against the defense. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
You blew it.
The player is ejected.
Whoa. See who's ejected. Watch at the end of the play. Watch at the end of the play. Oh, there's a punch right there by Ball.
That was Toby Ball.
And they got him, too.
And ejected
right
is... there. Yeah, that's big.
And you know what?
Looked like he was kind of punching at the ball.
Well, but not while the guy's laying on the ground.
He was on the ground with his defender on top of him.
Wow. So Toby Ball ejected from the game.
Yeah, talking about him, I mean, he is one of the stalwarts on this defense.
So that's what took so long to get this figured out.
Well, I think it's part of the frustration level that we're talking about with Wiley not getting anything going on offense and really feeling like this game might be slipping away from it, even though they're only trailing, Kevin, 3-0. But that defense has been on the field a long time, but you just can't make that kind of a play.
I'm sorry.
For Toby Ball.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
And you know what? You can't. You can say, you know, they're young players and everything else. There was clearly a ball carrier was clearly on the ground.
No doubt.
And there were not one, two punches thrown.
Well, the referee made the right call. That's absolutely the right call. You want to play with a lot of intensity. You want to play with a high motor, a lot of energy, but you got to be smarter than that. We're getting back to the business at hand. There's 2 minutes, 14 seconds left in the first half. Parker Ray over there getting the instructions from the sidelines, but Katy with excellent field position, and now you got to believe, Kevin, with a little bit of momentum on their side.
The ball moved down to the 28-yard line. Weber. And Weber with a nice gain. He gets down close to the 20 as Trevor Pierce comes in. And Trevor Pierce may be coming in. He and Hager may have to come in and fill in for Toby Ball. I'm telling you, Toby Ball, I watched them last week live in Waco, and he was just all over the field. They're going to miss him in a big way. Trevor Pierce made that tackle. It is Pierce coming in at that linebacker spot.
Well, and you see that Katy offense going right to the spot where Toby Ball came out of the game.
Roll the pocket, throwing downfield, caught. Hirschfelder has it at the 15-yard line, and he stays inbounds. They'll run the clock, but there's a flag down back at the 25.
Well, Hirschfelder is one of those nice finds that Gary Joseph was talking about this week, Kevin. Hey, he's a converted defensive back. He comes in, he's kind of stabilized, if you will, that receiving core. You don't have the home run hitter like you did last year with Terrence Avey. So you've come in and you get Hirschfelder moving over on the defensive side of the ball, and oh, man,
wow.
Another personal foul. My goodness.
15-yarder will go against Katy.
Boy, to be a fly on the locker room.
Yes. Well,
during
you know,
the halftime.
the thing, You had two teams coming in here.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the offense. 15 yards. It will be first down. The player is ejected.
Whoa, now that's Michael Weber. Well, I think that they called that on Michael Weber. They did not say who the player was, but you're talking, if that's the case, you just lost a guy who's rushed for 604 yards in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And a 1,200-yard rusher.
Guy averaging 7.6 a carry, 10 touchdowns on the season, splits time with William Jeffrey.
You know what? This play was way away. I saw where Weber was. The play was caught all the way down at the 15-yard line. Weber was back at the 30.
On the offside of the field.
Opposite hash mark on by the Katy sideline.
But give credit to this officiating crew, Kevin, because they're going to get this game under control.
Well, they're going to hand it off Robertson. And look at Robertson. Down inside the 5-yard line. A little wraparound handoff to the fullback, and it worked to perfection.
Yeah, the big guy. We've seen him make some nice catches getting out into the flat on some of those bootleg and little misdirections. Well, how about the misdirection here? How about the ball handling, first of all, by Parker Ray? That's not an easy thing to do, the way he puts that ball back into the belly. And then the patience of Chris Robertson just to stand there, let the play move on. He sees all the momentum. He sees the crease open up, and then he takes off. That's excellent, excellent play calling and execution.
23-yard gain to the 5-yard line. Another great opportunity here for Katy. They go with that full house backfield. And this is Weber. Weber up the middle, touchdown. Katy takes a 9-0 lead. And we said a moment ago, Weber was the one who was so upset about the penalty. And he went out of the game. They didn't give us a number on what player was ejected. We thought it was Weber. Obviously, it was not.
Well, we're trying to make the guess and see who was ejected from the ball game. Obviously, it would have a big importance, but since it is not, Michael Weber comes in, scores his 11th touchdown, and the power running game by Katy at the point of attack. That's one of those, again, Kevin, the deep handoff and just straight running downhill at that defense, and Weber punches it in for a touchdown and ostensibly to put his team up by 10, pinning this conversion.
7 plays, 52 yards on the drive. Took 2:08. And just like that, the first touchdown of the game goes to Katy. Took a while.
Well, the big play is the little reverse handoff after they got the personal foul penalty assessed to him. Parker Ray doing some magical handwork with that football as he sticks it back into the belly of Roberson, and he takes it all the way down and gets it into the red zone.
Weber there for the touchdown. You know, I want to say this a minute ago, too, because when officials do not give you the player, you know, to identify the player as to what the player was that was ejected or who the penalty was on, we looked, and Michael Weber was the man who was just very, very upset, jumping up and down.
He was
with
the most animated.
He was the one, as if he was pleading his case. They threw the flag towards him, and then when they said the player was ejected, Weber went out for the next play. So, again, that's why we assumed it was Weber, but obviously our assumptions were wrong, and he scores the touchdown. And everybody on the Katy sideline is glad that we were wrong. And now, this could get interesting because I think, you know what? Right now, I think Bill Howard, we'll see.
Well, he's obviously very upset and wants clarification
as to which player it was.
As to which player it was, yeah. That certainly seems to be his intent.
Wow.
And I tell you what, I'm going to need a rules official if.
Let's go down to Patty Smith.
Well, guys, I just found out number 75, Cameron Travis, was the one who got ejected. Everybody down here on the sidelines thought it was 26 as well, but of course he went back in the game, scored the touchdown. They just came by and told us it was 75.
You know what? You earned your money today. That is
good work there, Patty.
That's
from our viewpoint, very confusing.
Now the fair catch is called for and made at the 30-yard line.
Hey, still a minute 8 left in this ball game, and you got Jared Monk, a big, strong quarterback who's got a big arm.
Wow.
I fully expect to see some shots taken here.
Gary Joseph's team leading by 10. Remember, Wiley trailed Hebron by 15 points before coming back to get a win. First down, 10. Again, here comes the pressure. And they get a holding penalty, and that one is almost intercepted. It was Colt Atwood on the coverage. Atwood was there step for step, but check the marker back at the 25-yard line. It looked with all the time that Jared Monk had, but this one is going to be a holding call, and it is. You know, for two teams that come in here so much on top of their game, neither one of them has been quite as crisp as you think they would, obviously, as they would like to have been.
Well, I think for Wiley, it's getting used to the big moment, if you will, and you heard Coach Howard talk about that. He said, hey, we need to get by the first couple of minutes of this ball game.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
A long first half for that man.
They're going to get the hold right here. Comes in and just
gets
a little bit of a takedown.
And Monk throws this one, and it's incomplete. Intended, but the intended receiver, Lambert, just had no chance. The ball was right at his feet. So now
getting back. We're talking about Coach Howard coming in. He knows this is a big moment. His team has been on a roll. They've been playing well, and they're coming in and they're facing the defending state champion, and so this is not a pushover game. Even though this is not the Katy of old, if you will, even in Coach Gary Joseph's mind, but he talks about how good his team is, and they've proven every bit of that.
Well, Monk's missed on his last 6 pass attempts now, and a big reason for that is not being inaccurate. It's he's had a whole lot of company back there when he's trying to throw the football. Elvin Tapong had the pressure there.
Well, and they're getting pressure, Kevin, without having to bring any backers. So they're able to drop 6 and 7 guys back into coverage, and Monk is not able to locate any receiver that doesn't have at least 1, sometimes 2 white jerseys on him.
That front 7, Gary Joseph told us, has been the most consistent part of this football team all season long. Here comes the pressure again. Monk threw that time. You know, Nick Narcisse. And Narcisse, there's a penalty marker. They're going to call a hold again. I think Heath Smith held on Narcisse as he tried to keep him away from the quarterback, Jared Monk.
Well, Narcisse not all that big. He's rangy, but only a sophomore, 190 pounds, and they're going to get a personal foul for a takedown on Narcisse. You'll see it right here, back to the backside of the quarterback.
Well, it was a hold first.
Well, it was the hit on the ground is what drew the flag.
Right. So now it can't be a dead ball foul. Well, these guys have been way busier than they wanted to be. James Gilbert is our referee. He's the man that's been sorting it all out.
I want to say that is the 4th personal foul, if not the 5th personal foul in the half.
We've had 2 players ejected.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic for these squads.
So what you're saying is we're on pace for 10 personal fouls and 4 ejections.
Absolutely not. Like I said, to be a fly on the wall in the halftime. Attitudes will get recalibrated and readjusted.
We have a personal foul on the offense. The penalties decline. 4th down.
That's a good call. We still don't know why you wouldn't have called a hold to begin with. Yeah, you definitely get it there. That's declined. Narcisse thinks, I got nailed for that. You're going to decline the penalty. Jared Monk will punt. Here comes the pressure, but Jeffrey almost got there. Hirschfelder Trying that left side, won't go far. Gets out to the 44-yard line. 43-yard punt. 7-yard return. You know, this Katy team turned things around after 2 terrible games to start the season. Gary Joseph talks about what made the difference.
After the open week, and the open week fell at a great time for us because it was right after our loss to the Woodlands, and we got to go back and reevaluate, and we put our kids back to work. But you know, they were anxious to go to work too, and they were hurting that week. But you know, I felt like after that week that they were more confident football team. They were more confident in what they were doing, and no question we had to regain that swagger and regain that confidence. And I really felt like after the open week, and then we went and played Flower Mound, who was a top 10 team in the state going into the season, and were able to beat them. And I think that they felt much better about themselves.
Well, they did. They made a ton of adjustments. You see a lot of guys in our meetings with the Katy coaches this week telling us, well, he started the season as a defensive back. Right. Now he's a receiver. Yep. He was an outside linebacker. And, well, yeah, because they changed. Not only did they changed personnel. I mean, they knew that things that they had at the beginning were not working.
Retool from the top down.
Well, his team leads 10-0, number 10. Parker Ray has done a great job of leading this Katy team in the first half. For the Wiley Pirates, they've got adjustments to make. They've had a dominant defense, but still they've given up the 10 points. That man right there, you know Jared Monk's going to bring his team back. Nikita Whitlock is his ball club all they can ask for. But at halftime, it's Katy on top, 10-0. Let's go down to Patty Smith.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Things got a little chippy there towards the end. Just talk about, you know, how important it was to get that touchdown after that happened with such a defensive game going on here.
Well, it was very important, and we had to get 2 scores up, and they did a great job of keeping their composure and making a play when we had to. You know, the punting and stuff, you know, we'd seen that, and they needed to throw the kid out. If Art did it, he needed to be thrown out too, but we just got to get our kids settled down right now.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We'll see you in the second half. Kevin?
All right, thank you very much, Patty. 10-0, the halftime score. Time for us to take a break here at Reliant Stadium. We'll call a timeout, but there's plenty of other things to talk about in high school football in the state of Texas. Rick Renner and company will do just that next.
We're at halftime at Reliant Stadium in the Class 5A Division II Championship. The Katy Tigers, they started the season 0-2, looking to win 9 straight and earn the prestigious UIL State Championship trophy. And welcome back to the Fox Sports Southwest Studios. Rick Renner alongside the great Joey McGuire, who took home the state championship trophy at Cedar Hill back in 2006. All right, let's take a look back at some of the more memorable games at Texas Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys close the stadium down tonight. Top of the list has to be the infamous John Tyler Plano East game. 1994 seems like yesterday. It will live forever as one of the craziest games ever. With 2:38 left in the fourth quarter, Pesh trailed 41-17. Things got crazy. The Panthers scored 4 touchdowns. They recovered several onside kicks, and they did it on the hard AstroTurf. Plano East took the 44-41 lead with 16 seconds remaining. And then the announcers and everybody else but John Tyler thought it was over until this. JT takes the kickoff, 96 whopping yards for the score. They win it 48-41 in stunning fashion. I think I'm going to get sick. That's what those announcers said. John Tyler, how about it? They win a thriller. Another memorable game at Texas Stadium. Who could forget 2004 when Chase Daniel, the player of the year, drove the South Lake Carroll Dragons down to field goal range on Smithson Valley, and Kevin Ortega hits the field goal as time expires. Carroll won the Class 5A Division II State Championship in classic Texas Stadium fashion, their 5th of 7 titles for Todd Dodge. How about it? Let's fast forward now to yesterday. Salina, who has won more state titles than any other program in Texas history, taking on Carthage in the Class 3A Division II showdown yesterday. We pick it up in the second quarter, and Carthage's Dwight Smith, huge game. He goes 14 yards here, then he'll go 4 yards there, and Carthage is in control, 7-3 against Salina in front of a big crowd. After a Carthage pick on 4th and 1, look at his play call. Dwight Smith will go 50 yards. Huge game for him. At that point, it made it 14-3. I know you see the score, but pretend like you don't right now. Salina would regain the lead in the last play of the second quarter. Cody working some magic here to Troy McCartney, and Salina is up 18-14. Then third quarter, things got crazy for Mr. Dwight Smith. And Carthage, he was just unstoppable in this game. 267 yards, 5 touchdowns. He'll go 89 yards here. And what a Texas Stadium memory for him and Carthage, denying Salina a state record 9th title. Salina goes down in this one. Last week at Texas Stadium, the 3A Division I title game between Waco La Vega and Prosper, both looking for their first state title. Prosper, after just being in a few years of existence here, Danzel Wilson hits Caleb Hobbs. That's a big first down. That drive led to a field goal. Still in the first, Wilson to Daxton Swanson. 10-0 La Vega would lead it. 10-3 Pirates at the break. But in the third quarter, defense comes up big. Wilson would get picked off here by Tucker Alexander. One of 3 costly turnovers on the day for the Pirates. Eagles parlay that into points. Hunter Nix would take it over for a 3-yard touchdown. The game tied at 10. But in the end, Prosper would win it 17-10. They win their first ever title. Big year in 9-3A with them and Salina doing so well. Last week in Wichita Falls, Class 1A Division I title between Canadian and Mart. Brandon Robertson hooking up with Danny Reyes. And then in the second quarter, Robinson back to pass and finding Mart's Caleb Freeman, who gets free here, and he'll take it deep into Wildcat territory. A turnover would lead to Xavier Williams finding Ryan Montgomery in the back of the end zone. Canadian wins at 38-7. Mart with their 4 state titles. Watch Canadian win theirs. There's a Sooner there in Austin English, and Quan Cosby of the Longhorns enjoying that. Of course, they play their high school ball in those 2 teams. Meanwhile, in 6-man Division II, Borden County all over Woodson. Michael Cooley ran for 283 yards, scored 5 touchdowns, and set a championship game record for fewest points allowed in a 6-man game. How about that defense allowing just 8 points? Borden County forced 9 fumbles, recorded 5, shattering a record from 1973, holding them to just 8 points for their second year in a row. Woodson loses in the championship game. And getting back to Texas Stadium, what are some of your favorite memories being around the Metroplex?
Well, it's funny you started off with the Plano East. My dad won't let me forget it. I was at the game and left early. So, you know, I'm one of those guys in the parking lot that hears them score, and my dad won't let me forget that we left that game.
How did you leave? What made you leave?
Well, they were getting blown out, so we thought the game was over, and you know, they came back and won the game. It was our John Tyler ended up winning the game, but it was a great game. My favorite moment at Texas Stadium, we won there in the state semifinals against Garland. 4th down stop by Chris Francis on the goal line to send us to the Alamo Dome to win the state championship. That was huge for us.
Now, second half quickly, Katy, they're looking to do their thing, and we're going to be here all day. Right. We appreciate you being here. Katy is up 10-0, plenty to go from Reliance Stadium.
To nothing, the Katy Tigers on top here at halftime as we welcome you back to Reliance Stadium. Let's head down onto the field, the Wiley Pirate Marching Band.
10-0 Katy on top. We'll be back with the second half action in just a moment.
Wiley trailing right now 10-0. We welcome you back to Houston. Let's go down onto the field. Wiley shut out that first half. Let's go to Layla.
Joined by head coach Bill Howard. Coach, just your thoughts on the first half of
Well, we just didn't play very good on offense. We didn't protect Monk, and he never got in a rhythm. We made some really stupid mistakes down in the red zone, which not very characteristic of us. Defensively, we're playing okay. We just got to come back and play fire football for 24 minutes. We believe we've been behind.
second half. Kevin, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Layla. Yeah, his offense, I'm not sure if his offense struggled or if the Katy defense has been that good, because Katy's defense, man, they gave up 92 yards in the first half to a team that is averaging 415 yards of offense a game.
Yeah, and not only that, but the way that they kept them off the scoreboard as well. And some of it is self-inflicted, but even going back and thinking about that Katy defense, they have just been playing stellar and getting to the quarterback for only the 7th time this year, and that was early in the ballgame.
Yeah, Sevi Carbajal Hall on the defensive side. The plays have been few and far between. Sam Hall's really shown us something. Then you see the pick. That was one time that really Wiley had an opportunity to get in there and score. That has been the complete package on the inside, the linebackers, and the DBs.
Yeah, well, Caleb Carpenter coming up with that interception deep in the red zone after Wiley had gotten backed up. They were in their first and goal inside the 5. They got backed up, ended up having to throw the ball. And it's just been really the ability for Wiley not to get into rhythm is what's really hurt them.
Yeah, let's take a look at the stats brought to you by State Farm. And again, talked about it, 92 yards of total offense right now by Wiley, while Katy comes in here with 154 in the first half. Time of possession is almost identical. The penalties have been a factor for both of the teams. There have been ejections in the first half. I think it's going to hurt Wiley more than it's going to hurt Katy.
Well, it certainly seems to be that way, and it really is uncharacteristic. You heard Coach Bill Howard say we've not played Wiley Pirate football, and he just means that they've not gotten in the rhythm and done the types of things that they need to do. You know, one turnover there, not such a big deal, but it's going to be a very good second half of football.
Well, the second half just moments away from getting underway, and there you see Jared Monk, the senior, starting this game off and making his 27th consecutive start. And Jared Monk, in that first half, he was pressured, never was able to get any kind of rhythm going, and thus neither was the offense really able to get anything going for the Wiley Pirates. Flip side of that, Parker Ray has done what he's needed to do. Nothing spectacular, but certainly has managed the offense here in this first half. The first half possessions for Katy, and it started off, they got 3 points out of the first one, then the field goal, and back-to-back punts in the middle, and scoring that touchdown, and then the last time getting the football right before the half. But Katy has been in control. Their defense has been in control for the most part in this game, and that's why they lead 10-0. Ready to go. Grayson Townsend will kick it away here and start the second half. Jeffrey and Carbajal back deep for Katy. This will come to Jeffrey. William Jeffrey from the 12. Well, he's got a lane to run. And a good open field tackle for Wiley. Daniel Jordan. A 31-yard return and good field position to start this second half for Katy.
Well, you're coming back and you're thinking about what does Katy need to do. Now, we talked about the ejections. Toby Ball out for Wiley, and also Cameron Travis, as we understand, for Katy, the starting left tackle. And with this aggressive defensive front, you've got to believe that Joe Lepsis, the defensive coordinator for Wiley, is thinking, all right, well, let's take advantage of this if we can and see if we can't get somebody coming off the edge on that backside.
First play of the second half, it comes from the 42-yard line. Katy with a 10-0 lead. And the football, they hand it off to Jeffrey. Look at this. Breaks one, and man, if he had been able to break another, he gets out to midfield, he'd have been gone. William Jeffrey, talk about bookend running backs. We got one guy that rushed for over 1,200 yards. Jeffrey, he's listed as the backup. He rushed for 1,341 yards. He averaged 8 yards per carry. He had a big one against Smithson Valley, 176 yards. He had 139 yards against Humble earlier in the playoffs. Picked up 8 there. It's 2nd down and 2. Trying to sweep with Jeffrey again. And Jeffrey knocked out of bounds by Menchaca. Hit him hard, but not before he was able to get the first down. Kerry Joseph whispered in the ear hole, "You all right?" And evidently the answer was absolutely. Listen.
Nothing wrong with that. That's clean, solid lick. Menchaca coming down over the top, and that's it. You love your free safeties. We've seen Sam Hole do it earlier for Katy, Kevin, but when you see that free safety who's able to keep pace with the running back, and the running back still kind of dodging that interference in front, man, safety's just able to tee off on it.
And now the ball set at the 45-yard line. 5A Division II championship. Jeffrey again. Delayed at the line of scrimmage, bounced backwards, went forward to the 40-yard line. Trevor Pierce in there making that tackle for Wiley. Wiley coming in here, 13-win team. Katy, 12-3, the defending 5A Division II champs. And an 0-2 start. They lost 47-0 to the Woodlands, and were able to bounce back from that. We're at Reliance Stadium in Houston. Shea Walker, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder here in the booth. Layla Rahimi on the Pirate sideline and Patty Smith on the Katy sideline. Nikita Whitlock just pulled Jeffrey down from behind. Gonna pick up a couple, but it's going to bring up a big 3rd down here on this opening drive of the second half. Nikita Whitlock, look at this.
Yeah, Kevin, how many times have we seen him fight through not one, but most oftentimes 2 blockers, but just never keeps up? He is relentless, and he is as advertised.
100 miles an hour, the 5A Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Texas. Back-to-back district defensive MVP. Now a 3rd down and a 4.5 to go for the first. Oh, and this one, and it's incomplete. And when Katy looks back at that on film, he's going to say, look, you had Chris Robertson wide open in the flat. Could have gotten that to him and gotten the first down. Instead, chose to go deep with the pass. Watch 44 Robertson, how open he is.
Yep, he had the angle there, and they had been going to Robertson earlier in the ball game, and you've seen him have success doing it. Hirschfeld was open. The ball just skips off the fingertips and puts him in the 4th down.
So Davey Hurtado will come in. He'll punt. You see Daniel Jordan back deep. And there's going to be an interference penalty there. So this is going to be better field position at least. Jordan was able to still field the punt. That was a matter of not knowing where you were going. 25 yards on the punt. And the penalty is going to just about take all of that away. In that first half, it was a tough go offensively for Wiley. Obviously not able to get into the end zone. Had their one chance. They punted on their first possession, then they missed a field goal. The interception, that's the one that really stung because they had the ball inside the 5-yard line and then back-to-back-to-back punts to close out that first half. You see that final drive was 3 plays and punt. -10 on the possession.
Yeah, but Kevin, you said it earlier, 415 yards is what this team averages on offense and scoring close to 40 points a game, and they have just not gotten into rhythm. And a big credit of that goes to the Katy defense.
Well, that time Carbajal came on the blitz. Instead, they deliver this one, and it's complete. For the first time in a while, they got Nick Knott out in space and got him the football.
Nick Knott normally does it from the handoff, but he does it this time catching the ball. Doesn't have a whole lot of receptions coming in, only 10 catches coming in today's ball game, but certainly Wiley trying to find a way to get the ball in his hands, Evan, as you said, in space, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Well, he's averaging over 100 yards rushing per game. Now they send the defender again. It's right up the middle. It's going to be a gain of just a couple of yards. Again, Elvin Tapong right up the middle. Big senior. He has been controlling this line of scrimmage. Watch 94 work.
Yeah, you see, he's just so dominant up front. And again, as we're talking earlier about Whitlock, you see Tapong, Kevin. He does the same thing. it's okay to be blocked. It's not okay to stay blocked. And you can see these two guys in the middle are just fierce, and they're fighting off blockers and able to make plays near the line of scrimmage.
And Noah Cheshire, he's in the slot here to the near side. And Cheshire is a guy that I'd like to see them get into the mix, and they threw right there, and he can't hold on. They tried to get the ball to Noah Cheshire, and he is an absolute stud. I mean, an outstanding player. He can do just about everything. That time he just wishes he was able to hold on to the football.
Yeah, you know, that was one of those plays, too, and as a wide receiver, I can tell you that one of the hardest balls to catch is a kind of a dying ball or dying quail coming at you, because you turn your hands and you want to catch the ball like that, and as soon as the ball hits, it drops straight to the ground, and you saw that happen to Cheshire right there. If Monk had been able to put a little bit more pace on the ball, I'm pretty sure he'd have come up with that catch.
This is the 9th third down try as far as converting for Wiley. They've only converted once. Here comes the pressure again. Monk gets outside looking for the open man. And the pressure combined with the great coverage, and it'll go as a sack, and it'll be punt time for Wiley. Caleb Chandler was the man who finally ran him out of bounds.
Well, the guys,
great coverage.
Yeah, Kevin, we were talking about in the first half, though. You've got the pressure coming from the front four. Those are the guys that are breaking the pocket down and forcing Jared Monk out of the pocket. The coverage, when you only rush four and you're able to get pressure, you can have 6-7 guys running back in the backfield and one guy mirror the quarterback possibly. But you know, Chandler comes up and, as you said, goes down as a sack. But that's great effort by the front four of this Katy defense.
Hirschfelder back deep. They can get to this one. He won't be able to. I was going to say, as low a punt as that was, may have had a chance at a return. Instead, it'll roll dead at the 14-yard line. So, 48-yard punt. Got the benefit of a big roll. And 8:59 to go here in the third quarter. Katy gets the ball back, leading 10-0. Time out on the field. We'll take it with him. Back to Houston in a moment. Nothing, Katy on top here in the third quarter. 8:59 to go. Defending 5A Division II champions, looking to defend that title and leading right now. Pitching a shutout on the defensive end. Now the offense goes to work. Looking to do a couple of things. Obviously move the football, work a little clock at the same time. Granted, it's early on here in this third quarter. That said, the way your defense has been playing right now, doesn't look like they're going to need a whole lot of help. Throw this one and it's complete. Hirschfelder has it. Run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Kyle Hirschfelder's 15 catches coming into this game. Daniel Jordan there with the coverage. Young man, it's another one of the guys that started as a defensive back. Made the conversion after week 4, I beg your pardon. Hey, this Katy team, they didn't score a touchdown until week 4 of the season. They had back-to-back losses, then an open week in week 3. Made some adjustments we talked about. Then they knocked off Flower Mound Marcus in week 4. They've been rolling ever since.
Well, you heard Gary Joseph, head coach of Katy, telling us that, you know, he's been saying all week, and then you heard him again in the interview earlier today, hey, we had to make changes. We had to change everything. And you know, there's probably a little bit of the hangover effect, if you will. Coming from a state championship undefeated season last year, you've got, you know, the name of the Katy Tigers behind you, and you don't go out and maybe play as hard or as physical as they think you should have as a coaching staff, and that's what really kind of lit the fire in the staff, which has then changed the culture of the team.
They got outscored 57-6 in the first 2 games. Had the open week 4 before they had scored a touchdown. Flower Mound Marcus, look at that, they've won every game since. They lost the season finale against Cinco Ranch, but as usual, rolling once they got into the playoffs. Wins over Stratford, Humboldt, Dickinson, LaPorte, and Smithson Valley. That ball's tipped up, and again, the break's just not going Wiley's way right now. On other days when Marco Saucedo tips that ball up in the air, a guy in a black jersey runs underneath it and takes it to the house.
But a lot of hang time after you tip that ball too, Kevin. It's just unfortunate not to have a defender there if you are the Wiley Pirates. Desperately needing something good to happen for them, but Saucedo doing a fine job of getting up and elevating and knocking that ball out.
Up the middle they go. Jeffrey, great tackle. This is what I was talking about. You remember you and I talked on the phone this week. I said, what'd you think about Wiley? I said, man, that is a good tackling football team. Look at Zach Lowe right there. That is absolute precision point tackling. That's how you do it.
Well, and it looks like there's a lot going on here. You'll see some running lanes developing right there. But you got Zach Lowe coming out of that strong safety position, and he's just right on the spot and makes a tackle. And that play looked like it had an opportunity to go big.
It goes down in a hurry. So now this is a big play here. I think it's a bigger play for the Wiley defense than it is the Katy offense. 3rd down and 7. Throws it complete. Hirschfelder. He was nailed by Menchaca, but holds on, and he gets the first down.
Offensive coordinator Pat Dowling, he likes the conversion, getting this guy from the defensive side of the ball to come over to the offense. And you see Parker Ray locks on, never gets off of him, does a nice job of securing the football with his hands, and then takes a big shot from Menchaca coming over the top. But Hirschfelder able to hold on for the first down. That's big-time throw and catch right there.
Another 3rd down conversion. Out to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. This is going nowhere. Lost 5 yards. Guess who? Nikita Whitlock, the first man through.
Well, he is just so dominant at the point of attack. You see him right here, and he's going to make that angle. He reads that play so extremely well, and you see him, Kevin, even shifting his feet. He's able to redirect himself and not be juked out by a very athletic and quick back. Whitaker just closes down on top of him, and there's no chance. Smothers him for the loss.
Dodge Driving Championship coming up after the 3rd quarter. Stick around for that. Jeffrey steps out of bounds at the 24-yard line, beg your pardon, at the 34-yard line. He's going to be very close to a first down, pending, I believe he's going to be short by about a half yard where he stepped out of bounds. It's going to be a 3rd down and less than a yard for the first.
Well, Coach Howard's not too happy. You'll see right here in the middle of the screen. Look what happens here to Nikita Whitlock. Right here in the middle of your screen, Kevin.
It is a first
going to go down. He's going to get pushed down to the ground, and coach is saying, hey, wait a minute, didn't let our guy off the line and off the point of contact. And that's what allowed Jeffrey the opportunity to bounce around the corner. Coach Howard not happy.
It was enough for the first down. Oh, he's been unhappy about a lot of things today. His team's great run came to a screeching halt, at least in the first half. That said, again, we talked about it before. They trailed by 15 points to Hebron before coming back and winning in overtime. Trailing 10-0 here. Katy is on the march, and they may be marching faster. Weber, touchdown, Katy Tigers. 34-yard run, and it's 16-0.
Offense has just been so effective, Kevin, at chipping away. They felt a little dink pass, they do a little play action pass, they hit you at the draw play, they hit you with the little quick sprint option. They've got it all going for them, and right now you see when Michael Weber busts out, there's going to be just nothing but green grass in front of him to cover. The offensive line, a lot of credit.
Covered it in a hurry, and the point after is good. So an 8-play drive. That play started way back at the 14-yard line. It took just 3:24 off the clock. And Katy is in control. Look at it go back-to-back.
Mavericks basketball is on Fox Sports Southwest. Dirk and the Mavs are finding a new chemistry with Rick Carlisle at the helm. And now Dallas is back in the mix in the competitive Southwest Division as they gear up to take their game back to the top. Mavericks basketball lives here. Grizzlies, Mavericks on Fox Sports Southwest. Call now for Mavericks tickets or visit Mavs.com.
George Washington?
Actually, son, I'm Sam Houston. Don't you ever read the history blogs?
Well, our internet's pretty slow. My son, you got to get with the times. Tell your folks to get the new economy internet from Comcast. It's up to 13 times faster than dial-up, plus a low price to boot.
Thanks. You're pretty cool, Mr. Washington.
Introducing economy internet service from Comcast for only $24.95 a month, every month.
Hello, I'm Eva Longoria Parker, and I'm honored to be the spokesperson for the 2008 Texas Capitol Ornament. This year's ornament depicts the centennial-era rotunda floor featuring the 6 seals of countries whose flags have flown over Texas. This design symbolizes the culture and diversity that make our great state what it is today. Buying a Capitol ornament helps benefit educational programs and preservation projects at our state capitol. Buy your Capitol ornament online or by phone where operators are standing by. Thank you.
Hartford, Baylor, Monday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Well, Weber took it in, 17-0. Katy on top. Show us just how his lane was cleared.
We'll take a look at that offensive side on the right side here, Kevin. They do a good job of creating a nice lane. Stop it there, guys, if you can. All right, now hold on here. We're going to take another look at it. And when you see the Robertson coming in, the fullback, watch the block that he gets out to clear. You see that he just blows up the Wiley defender, and that creates all the green space there for Michael Weber to take it in for the touchdown. Very impressive drive by Katy.
Now they pooch kick it. And again, the fair catch is called for by Cole.
Yeah, they've been pooch kicking all ball game. And Wiley really has had decent.
That was the most shallow of the pooch kicks.
Yep.
I mean, they've kicked it a little deeper than that. More of the first couple of times was just more a matter of a longer pooch kick, just keeping it away from the deep guys. But that time, they just popped that one up in the air. So it's up to that man, Jared Monk, to get this Wiley offense running. Again, just 92 yards of total offense in the first half. And he'll just take it himself here. You know, this is a young man. He ran for a 69-yard touchdown run last week. He comes into this game averaging about 8 yards per carry, and he's rushed for over 870 yards coming into today's game. So this is a guy that knows what to do with the football when he's got it.
You talk about what a difference a year makes. Last year, he had 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And you think about that as a junior now, going into his senior year, we talked about it earlier, coming into the game, 20 touchdowns and 4 picks, and he's thrown 1 today.
Throwing this one. He's got an open man. It's knocked away. Great coverage. He closed in a hurry. It was Colt Atwood. Now they'll throw the flag for the interference. A late flag came in, but
trying to find Colby Harper at the ISO route on Atwood. Penalty will go against Katy. Got there just a little bit early with the left arm, and well, it was a close call.
It was.
Really played it well, Atwood did.
About as close as you can get.
You bet.
So the 15-yard penalty on the pass interference. You know, the way things have been going right now for Wiley's offense, that's a big play. They have really struggled to get anything going against this Katy defense. That's the first time they've thrown the ball deep down the field as well. That young man's got the gun to do it. District discus champion. He threw the discus 146.7.
That sounds like a long way.
Does sound like a long way. Monk will keep it, pitch it back on the option. Not gets away from the first man, can't get away from the second, but not before he picks up a first down. Now he's down to the 30-yard line, and Sebi Carvajal finally made that stop.
And you got to give all the credit here to Nick Knott, because Sam Hull, the safety we've been talking about, he is bearing down right on him, and Knott has to make a spectacular move where he just absolutely stops after he catches the ball and freezes before he's able to take back off, and Hull just misses him. And for the Wiley Pirates, Knott picks up another first down.
Look at his numbers today. He had 145 yards rushing last week, just 32 today. But this is just a different level of defense. Caleb Chandler and Sebi Carvajal. You see why Katy is allowing 9 points per game in the playoffs.
Well, that's just a great read by Caleb Chandler. He comes in, he knifes in, and he defeats the blockers at the point of attack. He goes right through untouched, and he's able to get down around the legs, and that's the only way a guy Chandler's size is going to be able to bring Jared Monk down.
This is not a one-hit wonder for Katie's defense today.
Oh, no.
I mean, they allowed 86 yards of total offense in a playoff game to Humble and -4 yards of rushing to Dickinson earlier in the playoffs. Here comes the pressure again, throws it over the middle. It's caught. Cheshire, but well short of the first down. Another penalty marker is down. That should come as really no surprise. An illegal shift.
Well, I'll tell you, you talk about the Katy defense, and you go back, they pitched a shutout a couple of weeks ago on LaPorte, and then held a very good Smithson Valley team last week in the semis to 19 points. I mean, they have just had an amazing run through the playoffs.
Like I said, -4 yards of rushing by Dickinson. Gary Joseph's team looking to get back there and take home yet another trophy. 11 penalties in this game, over 100 yards combined by the two teams. Comes the pressure again. Monk steps up, and he'll go down at the 45-yard line. Looks like Carbajal came off the edge, and he did, and he met a lot of people there. Grant Clifton was another of those linebackers, and they're sending everybody right now.
Yeah, they're doing it, rushing 4 guys, though, Kevin, getting that pressure off the corner and forcing Monk up into the pocket. It's just outstanding defense, and there's no time for Jared Monk to locate a receiver. That front 4 for Katy is just flat getting after it.
Comes the pressure again. Monk gets away. Throwing this one downfield. Caught at the 10-yard line. My goodness, Colby Harper. A 36-yard gain. That may be one which you look back as a game-changing play. Look at this.
Well, take a look also at Heath Smith, number 74. He comes back, and he not only picks off 1, he picks off 2 Katy defenders who are in pursuit of Jared Monk, which allows Monk to get over the top and get out to Harper. My goodness, what a great play by Heath Smith to come out, pick up those 2 pursuers, and then Harper slides behind the secondary. And right now, you can look down at Heath Smith. He is gassed.
It was like dominoes. Knocked the first one down, and the second one soon followed. As close as Wiley has been since back in that first quarter when the interception was thrown. Pressure again, throwing into the end zone and threw it away. Again, right now, I mean, they've come to the conclusion that they are just not going to let him sit back there and pick them apart.
Well, and you think about it, again, the defensive effort here, defensive coordinator Greg Miller has dialed up an absolute perfect game plan because they're getting pressure on a quarterback who's only been sacked 6 times in the previous 15 games. And he's been harassed most of this ballgame.
Yeah, and they're doing it, like you said, they're doing it without having to sell out and expose the defensive backs. Second down, going to go. Monk on the keeper, but there's just absolutely nowhere to go. He'll lose 2 yards. Sam Hall was the first guy that got there. Sam Hall's a player.
Yeah,
wow.
He's unbelievable. Sebi Carbajal in on that as well. If you talk about just reading something perfect, then you see Carbajal gets redirected, but Sam Hall is there. He never bit on the fake at all. He's right up there, and I like the way that he goes in. He's not trying to make the big knockout blow. He's making sure that he's going to make a tackle. Very heads-up play. Guy's only a junior.
3rd and goal from the 12. Drop the snap. Picked it up. It was Cheshire on the direct snap, and he'll lose 3 more. It goes back to the 15-yard line. So just moments ago, they had the big offensive play down to the 10, and now they're going to face a 4th and goal and have to attempt a field goal of over 30 yards. It'll be about a 32-yard attempt.
31-yard attempt. Ohanessian looking to bounce back. He missed his first. And he nailed that one. So it took a while, 1:53 to go here in the third quarter. Maybe Wiley able to take a sigh of relief as they get on the board at 17-3 and now trail by 2 scores. Well, the defenses, both of these defenses have played well in this game.
But that's a big score for Wiley. Kevin, as you said, it makes the game now very manageable to a 2-score game, so it doesn't seem like it's something that you can't overcome.
And if you miss that field goal, think about that too. You had a huge play and an unexpected play.
Right.
Gets down to the 10-yard line, and if you walk away from that with nothing, now you walk away. Obviously, you'd love to put it in the end zone, but in a 17-0 game, you're going to have to get yourself 3 sooner or later. You may as well get it first.
Yep. Again, I go back to defensive coordinator Greg Miller for Katy. Even though they gave up the big play on the busted play when Harper came down with that big catch, but you've got this defense that really just stiffened. I mean, they're flat getting at it, and they're at the pad level. It's underneath, it's below, and they're playing with purpose, and they're getting the job done today.
Grayson Townsend will kick it away. William Jeffrey back deep. They tried the squib kick, kicked it right to a receiver, and they'll bring it out. Chandler will bring it out to the 35-yard line. Bryce Chandler on the return. Was that Zach Swanson, I beg your pardon, 88, not 89. So Zach Swanson on the return. He had a big 45-yard reception last week in the state semifinals. Parker Ray bringing his team back out on the field. Again, just under 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. It's been all Katy today, and pretty much all Katy's defense today. 17-3. William Jeffrey, the single setback. That's Taylor Brandt in motion. They'll throw the football downfield. And that one is incomplete. Now Hirschfelder on that far sideline. Let's go down to Layla Rahimi.
This lovely group of students is our Academy team behind the team. This is the Wiley Junior ROTC Spirit Team. And this is their very impressive human pyramid. Now, I'm joined by their very proud colonel. Talk about your team and what they bring to the school.
They're the representatives of about 240 kids that are in the Junior ROTC program at Wiley High School. They're so full of energy and everything. We want to do something to join the team. So they've been coming out for about 5 or 6 years now, blowing up the tunnel, and just getting into the game and all the way to state. You can't hardly beat it. You know, this doesn't get any better than this.
Well, and I love the fact that they wear the fatigues. They represent JROTC, but they also represent JROTC in a different way than what you would normally see just doing the color guard, which is so great also at the game.
That's right. They really do like to get into it. They travel with the team every game. They go to them, so it really gets them to get the school spirit and everything where they feel a part of the school.
Certainly, a great team behind the team. Our Academy team behind the team. The Wiley Junior ROTC Spirit Team. Back to you.
All right, the illegal procedural penalty will go against Katy to back them up 5 yards. Backs it up to the 31-yard line. So Katy goes incomplete pass and then a penalty on the second play of this drive. Wiley trying to turn things around. They got to like that. Again, they throw it to Hirschfelder. It's going to pick up depending on the spot here, and it always does. Gets out to the 39-yard line. Daniel Jordan there to make that tackle. See, they love their Katy Tigers there from the elementary school on up. It's not the proverbial one school community like Wiley is, but it is certainly gets that feel when you go out to Katy. You know, they won that one in 1959. We were talking about, I was surprised that it was even anything in Katy in 1959. That's way out west of Houston. I say way out west of downtown Houston, probably about 30 miles.
back then was probably a lot of rice fields.
Well, good pressure by the Wiley defense, and really you got to go hats off to William Jeffrey. Gets hit in the backfield by a couple of would-be tacklers, doesn't go down, but finally gets wrapped up there just short of the first down.
It went down inbounds. Clock will continue to run. We're in the third quarter. Under a minute and a half to play. There you see the time remaining, down to 1:10 in the third.
Well, Hurtado's been doing a nice job punting the ball today. Kevin Wiley desperately needs something good to happen now. They want to get back in this ball game.
Well, Davey Hurtado, high snap. They really weren't coming after him. They had good protection. Bring him down to the 29-yard line. You bet it was great coverage. Sebi Carvajal down on the coverage. Then you see the AMO on the front of the jerseys. We wondered exactly what it meant. Well, it's complicated. Let's hear from Bill Howard.
AMO just rings through our community, and AMO is just, here we come. It's our battle cry. We've drawn a line in the sand. You're not going to cross it, and something we take a lot of pride in. And I get asked that question all the time, but I tell them the same thing. You know, if you're not from Wiley, you probably wouldn't understand, but it means pretty much, in my view, here comes Wiley, you better get ready.
I'm going to try to explain it. And it's AMO means, it's short for I'm going to do what I need to do to win this game. Look at this. Monk out to the 45-yard line, out to the 47. That's a 20-yard gain, and now Wiley's starting to feel a little spring in their step.
Now Jared Monk takes it around that left side, blocking at the point of attack. It's one of the few times that we've seen them be able to contain and get kind of hat-on-hat, if you will, and Monk exploits it. You talked about him earlier, Kevin, at 6'5". He's got a long stride. He averages almost 7 yards a carry coming into the game, but he can cover a lot of ground in a hurry.
Wants to throw downfield here, and it's picked off. Van Atwood. Well, what a huge, if there was any momentum headed Wiley's way, it may have just gone out the door. A 23-yard return is Atwood, just his second interception of the season. He's just a junior. Right place at the right time. He looked like he knew it was coming.
Well, he played it perfectly. The receiver actually was on the inside, which is where you wanted to be. You're going to see the post route coming in from down here. Yep, get it down on the side, guys. Oh, all right. And that's Colby Harper at that inside receiver position. He's running in, and as he's trailing down, and you'll see Monk feels like he's got a good throw at it, but the inside linebacker coming back kind of made Colby Harper one-arm it as he goes out one-arming. Atwood comes up with a big interception.
Second one of the day. Katie will throw the football. I'm a little surprised. I was expecting Katie to get a little more conservative, to be honest with you, and, you know, maybe work a little clock, establish that run back a little bit. They have thrown the football considerably here over the last couple of drives. Throw it on first down here, and it'll stop the clock with 2 seconds remaining. Second down and 10. Ball set at the 43-yard line. Ray Parker coming in here, not huge numbers, threw for about 1,600 yards coming into today's game, and they'll wave the play dead.
Timeout. Katie.
Now, Katie, now will they take this timeout? And they will, but there's no time remaining on the clock at the end of the third quarter, so.
Yeah, 2 seconds left before the quarter's
so they reset the clock at 2 seconds. It was a second down, so. Hey, Sunday Night Hoops presented by Pizza Hut returns this week. A doubleheader beginning with third-ranked Pittsburgh battling upset-minded Florida State, followed by number 25, Clemson, squaring off against Miami of Florida. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 4:30, and high-definition territorial restrictions are applying. Check your local listings. So there'll be 2 seconds remaining. They'll be able to run one more play here in this third quarter. Katie's no hurry right now. This has been a game that in the first half, a lot of penalties, a lot of big penalties that took time to sort out. It's been a long game.
Yeah, kind of the uncharacteristic penalties that you would expect to see in the state championship game. You don't mind the emotion and all the things that go with it, but in the aggressiveness. But just some of the personal foul penalties in the first half are very uncharacteristic for both of these teams.
William Jeffrey, the setback. Hand it to him. And Jeffrey got nailed. Gained a couple. Nikita Whitlock. He could bring the wood and did right there.
Yeah, Izzy Issaquah was in there as well.
Well, that will do it through 3 quarters of play. Check it out one more time. Issaquah went high, Whitlock went low. And so after 3, it's the Katy Tigers on top, 17-3, leading Wiley. And now, Katy, I think you're in a position where you go into this fourth quarter, you're thinking control the running game, control the clock. Your defense is playing so very well, and more than anything, you probably, Katy fan will cringe me even mentioning the word, take care of the basket or take care of the football. You don't want any turnovers in this situation.
But it's something that they have been very adept at doing, and you get back again talking about Parker Ray coming into the game, not mind-boggling spots, but there's 13 touchdowns and 6 picks, but he's done a great job of managing this ball game.
All right, let's go to Patty Smith.
What's your best shot? Oh! All right, we've got to get it up a little higher. All right, our next finalist is Robert Morris from Richardson. You ready? All right, go get it. Nice spiral. Oh! All right, the third contestant tonight is Kevin Chapp from Katy. Let's hear it for him. All right, go ahead, Kevin. Oh!
Wow, good shot.
All right, and our last contestant, William Lee from San Antonio. Okay, William, let's see what you got. All right, let's give a big round of applause to all our finalists for giving it their best try and the Texas Dodge dealers for this exciting contest.
That's our Dodge drive to the championship.
Well, you think that Kevin, even though he was from Katy, he's got on the Katy Taylor blue. The fans in red, they're not too happy to cheer for him. They're pulling for the old Katy High Tigers. Well, he came close. He almost won a Dodge Ram.
So we start the fourth quarter play. Gary Joseph's team. Gary Joseph now in his 5th season, 27 years at Katy.
Well, and that you talk about what he's done too. Coming in after Mike Johnston, legendary coach at Katy. Gary Joseph's got a record coming into today's game, 66-7.
Now they hand it off on the delay. Jeffrey just making people miss, bouncing outside, takes it up the sideline, and now he's down to the 25-yard line. You know what I liked about the way William Jeffrey runs? He gets down on the sideline. He's very good at choosing when to get more yards and when to step out of bounds and call it a day on that run, 17 yards.
When you take a look right here at Nikita Whitlock as he's trying to run him down, not able to catch it, but no quitting him in this ball game. But that's just a sign of a defensive player that's hustling and giving it and laying it out there on every single play. As you said, Jeffrey doing a fantastic job of navigating the sideline.
Down to the 24-yard line as the clock runs. Coming down to 30 seconds deep here in this fourth quarter. Jeffrey going to bounce outside, cuts it back up. And, you know, if I'm thinking after 3.5 quarters of going against Nikita Whitlock, teams probably will be a little less likely to stretch that play out and then cut it right back up the middle because you know number 8's
he's closing,
on his way.
He's closing regardless. You could block him with 1, 2, or 3. He's fighting his way through there, and really impressed with that young man and the way and how well he's played in this ball game.
Well, Jeffrey, look at the numbers on him. 20 carries, 139 yards.
Hey, this is a very stingy Wiley defense.
Michael Weber comes in now. Weber's been the guy who's had the better postseason. Again, 600 yards rushing for Michael Weber. And they'll hand it to him. For 600 yards all here in the postseason.
backs up back to the 25-yard line, and he loses a couple. Saseda had the tackle there.
Thinking about the success, though, that Jeffrey has had, I think it showed 139 yards there. This Wiley team gives up 112 yards a game on the ground. And they have played some extremely talented football teams along the way, as we were talking about earlier, in Allen and Plano and others out of that district.
But now a 3rd down and 10. 72. Wiley won a 2A state championship. 78, they won a 2A state runner-up. They went to the championship game, and now a timeout. Katy calls a timeout.
They're going through them here last.
Yeah, they need them late. They're not going to have them. Katy on top, 17-3. 9:59 to go for a 5A Division II championship. 17-3, just a little under 10 minutes to go here in the ball game as we go to Patty Smith.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I am down here on the field with Gene Brumbelow from Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen, of course, one of the major sponsors here of this game, and really just a huge Dairy Queen has such an affiliation with Texas high school sports. So to just talk about your relationship, especially with high school football.
Right. Well, Dairy Queen's been over in Texas for over 60 years, and high school football has been in the fabric of Texas a lot longer than that. But we feel like we're as big a tradition as Texas high school football, and proud to be associated with great playoff games like this, because gosh, this is the best. College football ought to do something like this, actually. So, but it's just we're over 600 Dairy Queens in Texas, and we're where the teams are, and they play every week, and we're in with the coaches and the fans and the players, and so it's just a great association that we have with high school football. And the Fox Big Game of the Week, Fox Sports Southwest Big Game of the Week is something we like to be a part of and sponsor and bring the scores and the highlights and this great traditions to the fans.
Well, and it does seem such a natural fit because every week we do those DQ games of the week, and it's not only about the game and the players themselves, but the entire community gets involved whenever Dairy Queen's involved.
It's a community thing, and it lasts all year long, and we're there, and high school athletics and Dairy Queen are great traditions.
All right, sounds like some great stuff going out on the field, so we're going to send it back up to Kevin. Thanks so much. Kevin?
A blocked field goal, and so now Wiley will get the football back. They'll get it back at the 5-yard line as Daniel Jordan. Let's see who got this.
Coming off the top, we're on the right side.
It is Daniel Jordan, absolutely. Daniel Jordan got to it.
Just selling out and doing what he had to do to get across. Coming up the big play, because Kevin had that field goal been successful, that could have been the knockout punch for Katy. Right now, it's still a 2-score ball game.
Coming off that corner, Jordan with those 16 career interceptions. Now the ball will be back at the 5-yard line. Johnny Jones right up the middle, and Johnny Jones, his first carry of the game. He's more the short yardage type guy. That said, he rushed for nearly 700 yards on the season as Grant Clifton was there to make that tackle.
But just en masse, you're going to see these linebackers come up and pinch down when they see the running back getting the football. Clifton in on that one as well, Jonathan Fisher. A lot of white hats around the football.
Straight drop and throw. Here comes the pressure again. That was almost interception by Grant Clifton. And if Clifton had picked that one off, there'd be a celebration going on right now. That was that close.
You see, again, reading the eyes of the quarterback. Here's Clifton right in the middle. And he just jumps the route. And that's exactly what you want your quarterbacks to do. When you're able to get the kind of pressure that Katy has been able to get early in this ball game, it makes jumping those routes a lot easier because you know you got help behind you.
You also know you got a quarterback throwing off his heels a lot of times, too. Monk, throwback screen. A lot of room to run. And a big gain out to the 44-yard line. Logan Lambert, his first catch of the day, and it goes for 35 yards. It couldn't come at a better time for Wiley.
Well, you talk about couldn't come at a better time, Kevin. Sprinting away from the screen. The offensive linemen get down and take a look at the convoy. You get all these guys coming down and giving you a lot of protection now where you can run and pick the seams and really just running behind your own guys. And Logan Lambert, that's a huge play for this Wiley offense.
You see number 11, Colt Atwood, as soon as that ball was snapped, he was pointing. He saw that play and what was happening, but he had big offensive linemen out were making good blocks, and there was nothing he could do about it. Now they're protecting Monk. He throws this one, and it's incomplete. There was the coverage once again. Zach Griffin. The defensive backs, a lot easier to look good as a defensive back when you're getting the kind of pass rush right now. It goes hand in hand.
So Justin Thompson, you think about the receivers here on this Wiley offense. Talk about Colby Harper coming into the game with 80 catches, and Logan Lambert and Justin Thompson both with 45 each. It's not like they've not spread the football around and made plays all year. The Katy defense has just proven to be almost impenetrable for those guys.
Here comes Monk again. They go right back to the throwback screen. Nick Knott. What a great defensive play. My goodness. Colt Atwood.
Kevin, he does that when he's got big Heath Smith, the offensive tackle, leaning on him, trying to knock him down. Colt Atwood, only a sophomore at $155, fights through the tackle right here at the bottom of the screen. Take a good look at that. As he comes down and you see the play, it looks like there's a lot of room for Nick Knott, and Nick Knott can take it to the house.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Nick Knott does not get knocked down there, if Atwood doesn't make that play,
he's gone.
Yeah, Knott scores.
He's a 4.5 40 guy. He's got a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, so Colt Atwood stays a touchdown for Katy.
17-3, Tigers on top. Now the 5A Division II championship game between Katy and Wiley has been brought to you by Dairy Queen. That's what I like about Texas. By State Farm, sponsor of the UIL Championship Series. By Dodge, grab life, visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Academy, the right stuff, the low price. Well, a happy holidays to you. Those are the folks doing the heavy lifting in the truck.
Absolutely. Good job, guys. All right, Kevin. You got to feel like now they're on the plus side of the field. This is 4-down territory for Wiley, regardless.
Third down and right at a yard. Monk will keep it. He should have the first down.
Yeah, he'll get the first down. But man, I tell you what, he's behind Cheshire, who's 6'3", 235. Monk 6'5", 230, and that big offensive line.
Yeah, Boyfield was on that side at 290.
Yeah, and the SS Umana over on that right side as well. 6 foot 340, right? But it's still hard to get a yard. That Katy defense is playing extremely well.
Ready to snap at 7.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Carball with the pressure. That was knocked away and intercepted. Did he hold on?
Oh, my.
Zach Griffin. An acrobatic pick, the third of the day by this Katy defense.
Are you kidding me? Zach Griffin. 3 interceptions coming into the game today. Plays it perfectly. He jumps the route, Kevin. He hits it with both hands, keeps his eyes on it, and he's able to come back. You see him tip it right there with the left hand. Never lost sight of it. That is an absolutely outstanding play.
Wow.
I tell you what that reminds me of. Katy needing a big play late in the ball game to preserve a state championship. Back in 05, I believe it was, against South Lake Carroll, Will Thompson comes up on the sideline, and he tight ropes it for an interception and puts Katy into the winner's circle. And Zach Griffin, that's just huge.
Now they're protecting the football here. Michael Weber. Katy won a state championship in 59, 97, 2000, 2003, and 2007. Now looking to add 2008 on the water tower. They played now 8 title games since 1994. They've won 4 of them, looking for number 5.
Side back, away from him. Make sure you peel back off that guy, okay?
And if you're going to make plays like that, do it on TV. That's the best way to do it.
Oh, man, what a fantastic play. And he played it correctly the whole way. He tips it with the left hand, and he's able to maintain the balance of tightrope the sideline and also keeping his eye on the football.
Off the middle they go, Weber. Again, the tradition continues here at Katy. 10 regional championships, 23 district championships. Started back in 1959, almost 50 years ago. And Gary Johnston in 97 when they broke through finally at the Astrodome. And then again in 2000. Back in 2003. One more time. 2007, it was this man's turn, Gary Joseph, and they got the victory at the Alamo Dome, knocking off Pflugerville for that 5A Division II title. And that's just Nikita Whitlock. Oh, beg your pardon, it's not Nikita Whitlock. That's John Pittman. John Pittman fighting through there and doing what Nikita Whitlock usually does do. Right now, the clock is the biggest ally of that man.
Well, you have to feel like this Katy offense, complete control of the ball game.
Their defense has been just unbelievable.
Absolutely. No, you think about, and Kevin, we've been talking about this a little bit during the week and then in today's ball game, but the job that this Katy coaching staff has done to get their team to this point in the season is just nothing short. This is the best coaching job in my mind that I've ever seen at the high school level.
That's saying something there. There's William Jeffrey taking it ahead. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long. You saw just a moment ago. Reminder coming up after this game. It's the Dodge Drive to the Finals. Coming up from here. Craig Way making his way over. He'll host that. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, right here on Fox Sports Net, it is the 5A Division I State Championship. This is Craig Way calling that one alongside our partner here, Shay Walker. The Allen Eagles taking on the Hurricane of Hightower. Fort Bend right down the road in Fort Bend County here in Houston. Gonna throw this one downfield, and that it's Menchaca. Did he get it? If Menchaca caught it,
he did.
They did. Interception. It'll go back. That was on a 3rd down.
Well, talk about the cornerbacks coming up with some huge plays, defensive backs all around. I mean, that's not an easy catch by Menchaca. He comes over the top, he takes it, not only takes it away from the receiver, but he's able to, again, stay in bounds. Very impressive.
Menchaca with the pick, and now it's time for Wiley. Not only do they have to score, they got to score in a hurry. The leader of that defensive backfield is Menchaca. A guy that this time, in a couple of weeks, he'll be playing on the basketball team. Here comes the pressure again. Monk. And Monk just lowers his head. He gets waylaid at the 32-yard line. Picked up a couple of very painful yards. Elvin Tapong, the man that got there. Don't forget, DVDs. Fox Sports Southwest coverage of today's and tonight's games are available for just $24.99 from GameTapes.com. That's GameTapes.com for all Fox Sports Southwest 5A football finals on DVD. Now Katy leading at 17-3. Looking for yet another title. Here comes the pressure again. Monk being chased by Carbajal, throws. And it's just all about the pressure right now.
Sevi Carbajal comes in, and you see, even though he gets stiff arm and knocked away by the bigger Jared Monk, he doesn't give up. He pops right back up and he stays after him, which forces Monk to kind of retreat. When he had an opportunity, if Carbajal had stayed down, he would have had an opportunity to kind of get a better angle where he could have picked up Justin Thompson a little bit quicker in his field division. But again, Carbajal coming off the top. You see him get missed right there, but he never gives up on the play, and he keeps forcing Monk back, so he's got to throw off that back foot. Not able to get behind him.
Blitz again, they read it, but it's well defended, and it's going to be short of the 1st down. Well, now let's look again. It was a 3rd down and about 3,
And looking at the forward progress, it's right at the mark. Atwood doesn't believe it. Didn't believe where they're going to spot the ball, but they will. And it's going to be enough for a first down, so Wiley will move the chains.
But more importantly for Wiley right now, the clock is stopped while the chains are moving, but they need big plays, Kevin. Get the ball down the field.
If you're Katy right now, you'll let them dink and dunk for 3 to 5 yards every time. Threw that one and it's incomplete. You know what happened? Logan Lambert slipped down. He was getting back up, looking at the quarterback, but to his defense, I mean, he was trying to get back on his feet and catch that football, and that's what threw him off.
Well, this is a different surface for these guys to be playing on, Kevin. This grass here at the Texans Stadium Reliant, or Texans Field Reliant Stadium is very, very tight. We were walking down on the field a little bit earlier.
It's like a golf course.
Yeah, and so you can see how guys maybe lose their balance and able to slip down sometimes. It's something you got to get used to.
Again, they throw the screen here. Not out to the 40-yard line, so it's going to bring up a third down coming up. Foster was one of those guys in there. Sebi Carvajal, who's played well. Grant Clifton also in on that stop.
Yeah, defensively, though, Katy, as you said earlier, Kim, they're more than happy to let things happen in front of them.
Keep it in front, keep it simple, keep them, if you can, in bounds. That time he was able to get out of bounds. Look, it's been a tough day for Monk. Only 13 of 31. He's thrown those 3 picks. Set up the screen again. Well, they keep going back to the screen. More importantly, I think, than anything, you got close to the first down. I think you're going to have the first down, but you got out of bounds.
And Johnny Jones, the man out of the backfield.
That's only his 7th catch of the year. So it's going to be it'll be short, or they're going to measure.
As we're talking, though, Katy's more than happy to let these types of plays happen because they're a little bit slow developing, and they're not giving up a whole lot of yards on them, and that's obviously chewing up a lot of clock.
First down. The clock stops with 3:39 to go. Let's take it down to Patty Smith.
Well, Kevin, just what you guys were just talking about, I was down here on the sideline listening as the coaches were talking to this defense. They came off the field last time, and they told them, look, all they've got working is the screen. So expect the screen, give it, let them have a little bit, but they knew that was what was coming. So the Katy defense is out there expecting screen after screen.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking, Patty. Give them a little, but don't give them much. Keep it in front. Monk started this game 7 for 10. Since then, 7 for 22.
And he gets sacked on that play.
Well, and that's the thing, is it's not been about, I don't think it's been so much about Jared Monk having a bad game. Jared Monk has had all kind of company all day long, and now asked him if he could stay in the game, and Monk said yes. What a tough kid.
Said right ankle gets rolled up on as he's going down, but that's Clifton again. Kind of finishing off over the top, as is Jonathan Fisher.
This is perfect for the Katy defense. This is the 8th play of this drive. You see where the football is. They throw this one down, and it's knocked away. And again, I'm telling you, Zach Griffin, Colt Atwood, those corners, Sam Hull.
And playing on an island, too.
Yep. And Van Atwood, Van and Colt have both been big in this game.
That's it. Now, you hear Patty say that they were running screen. I'm thinking now, did you see the throw downfield like that? It's 3rd down. You've only got 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. You've got to go downfield on every throw.
Third down, 18 to go. Line to make is the Katy 44-yard line. The throwback screen, and it's nearly picked off. Sebi Carvajal was right there with the receiver. He got there at the same time as the ball came to Logan Lambert, and now it'll be 4th down and 18. Wiley will call a timeout. What a day it has been for this Katy defense. Looking to do it again.
Back to back.
Yep. And think about what Gary Joseph told us. He said, and we look at it just from a standpoint, I'm not judging this team, but at least as far as the preseason, they weren't looking to have the stars that they have had in the past. We saw, we saw some of these. We saw running backs going off to UCLA. We saw a lot of players getting placed. You had players that were very good in last year's team. And he said, he thought that this team had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They wanted to prove to everybody that, maybe we weren't as good as last year's team, but we'll bring you a state championship. And, well, they're about 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from doing just that.
Well, and not only that, Kevin, but you go back to the first couple of weeks of the season, as we've been talking about throughout the ball game. I mean, they just absolutely get woodshedded by the Woodlands in week 2 and just, humiliated. And that's not the way that Katy expects to play football. As a matter of fact, that sent shockwaves through the state.
Yeah, their worst loss in 20 years. And this on 4th down, and it'll turn it over back to Katy. Jonathan Fisher making the play, and we can just about put this one on the books. Well, our DQ big plays of the game. It came down to the defense. The defense coming up big for Katy. The interception here, that's what started it.
Well, that was a scoring opportunity that went by the boards for Wiley. Caleb Chandler, who came up and picked that one off. Then now Van Atwood comes in and makes a pick. And then here just recently, you see the nice play by Zach Griffin, tipping the ball and then hanging on and catching that as well. So those 3 turnovers are all big momentum changers. And certainly, as well as the offense has played today and done what they needed to do, it's been the Katy defense, which has been the story of this ball game.
I thought the huge play in this game, you and I talked about this, the fact that after a personal foul was called against Katy, the very, very next play, a 37-yard return on that little fullback wraparound handoff, that delay play that took it down to the 5-yard line, Katy would score a couple of plays later. I thought that was really the momentum change. That was what got Katy on the board and got them up 10-0.
Well, and that was in the second quarter of the ball game. They had gone toe-to-toe. The only points that had been registered in the ball game was a field goal by Katy on their first possession. And I would agree, Kevin, that's a very critical juncture of the game where they came back and responded with a little bit of somewhat of a trick play, if you will. But Roberson does a nice job of lugging it down and getting it where whoever can punch it in for the touchdown.
Clock continuing to run. Weber just as soon keep it between the hash marks. Reminder coming up between games. Dodge drive to the finals at 7 o'clock. Fort Bend Hightower going against the Allen Eagles as again Houston area meets Metroplex. Snap it a couple more times. Holding on to it here. And Wiley calls a timeout. With 1:03 to play. Wiley calls the timeout. They'll stop the clock. 63 seconds left. 17-3. Wiley's offense just has not been able to get anything going. And you read all the scouting reports coming into this game. Just about everyone, the consensus was that there was going to be 2 very good defenses, but Wiley's offense was going to be enough. It was going to be good enough to give the edge. Basically, just the reverse of what happened in this game.
But when you think about it again, and we may mention this a couple of different times, but this is a Wiley team that comes out of District 8-5A, one of the toughest districts in the state. And they come into the state finals game after their run through the playoffs, averaging 415 yards per game, scoring just under 40 points per game. So of all the good teams that they've played along the way, nobody's ever really shut them out and kept them off the scoreboard as effectively as this Katy defense has today.
Now, Katy, this will be a 4th down here. Roll the pocket. Parker will throw downfield. But it's incomplete. Now Brandt just couldn't hold on. That's a smart play. You throw it out there where the only person that could catch it would be the intended receiver if, in fact, he does catch it. So now Wiley will get it back with 57 seconds remaining. Needing to score and score in a hurry. Monk out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure again, and Monk will go down. Sacked again. All the way back at the 30-yard line. Clock stops. Now they've run it at 40 seconds. That's the 5th time today Jared Monk had been sacked.
And as we said earlier, 6 sacks total coming in for the season. And Gary Joseph, the former defensive coordinator for this Katy team under Mike Johnston, now taking over as a head coach, is about ready to secure his 2nd consecutive state title.
That one's incomplete. Clock stops with 16 seconds remaining. Well, Wiley, it's been a great run. And to finish this season with that 13 wins and still looking for that first state championship since 1972.
And you think about what Bill Howard and his staff has done to get this team, again, not the perennial power that comes out of District 8 5A. It's usually Plano or it's Allen. You don't hear a whole lot of talk about Wiley.
I mean, Wiley went.
They have done a fabulous job this year and had a magical season.
Hey, they were 3-7 last year. Hats off. What you've been able to do this year, you're absolutely right. It's been a great ride, and you get the feeling that they got something going in the right direction there in Wiley. They've had something going in the right direction for a long time in Katy, and guess what? It just keeps on rolling. The rumors of their demise have been greatly exaggerated. Didn't think you'd hear any from Mark Twain. I probably messed up the quote, but that's
close enough for me.
Been the case.
But, and again, you just go back to what it means, and this is something, a great experience for both of these squads. Katy, obviously, they know what it's like to be here, but for Wiley, this is something that should build on.
He's still coaching. Another year at the office, but just as sweet. The Katy Tigers, the 5A Division II champions of 2008. Back to back they go.
You did it, dude. You did it. You did it. You did it.
After winning a title a year ago and then an 0-2 start to this season, everybody wondered what was wrong. Nothing is wrong at all. The Katy Tigers back on top of the 5A Division II world once again.
It was a team effort.
6th state championship in school history. Congratulations to Katy. So that's the final score. Once again, Katy wins it 17-3. FSN Live coverage continues of the Texas High School Championships next. That'll be followed by the 5A Division I championship game between Hightower and Allen. So for Shay Walker, Layla Rahimi, Patty Smith, and all of us at Fox Sports, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Stay tuned. It's coming up next. And happy holidays to you. Congratulations to the Tigers.
New Texas Young Driver